Hello, my friends. I hope you're doing well today. I have a TPO for us to watch. It's a new one. We're gonna get going on it pretty quick. I hope everybody's had a wonderful day. My lighting is gonna be fucked because I'm outside being a heat scorer on my deck while people watch. We should make it really corny. Actually, no, it's fine. I look great. I don't care. Melanie, who's married? Which hill are you climbing on? I'm a little concerned. Oh, is that Sting you're talking about? That's a little hill. That's a little hill to climb up, I will say. I hope everybody is doing well today. Sting being married, yeah, I mean, it sucks. Look who's back. Streamlabs after his strike. I had to, you wouldn't believe what I had to give him to get him to come back tonight. Just crazy. Crazy T-Rex. Anyways, let's get on with this TPO. That's about as crazy as I get these days. Look at the gambling is open. Everybody is happy. Hold on. That work? No, just slightly less stomach. Um, I did get a good amount of sun today. Quite happy about it. Did that on purpose. Anyways, tell me what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. Uh, yeah, love to hear about it. Nobody had any dinner yet? Oh my God, Melanie, one at slots. What the fuck? That's crazy. No, not quite. Not quite. That's good. We don't need Streamlabs. I know, Vicky, but I still did a lot to get him back, I'll tell you that. Anyways, let's get going with this TPO. You know, you will probably see this other places as well. I think that's awesome when we can all watch these and come up with different sort of thoughts about what's happening with them. Hi, Holly. How are you doing? Uh, can you hit the like button? Can all of y'all hit the like button, please and thank you? That would be very helpful. And let's get going. We're going to Thurston County for a protective order hearing. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Oh, this light's going to attract all the bugs. Hold on. I'm just checking to make sure that the audio is coming through because it's not at the moment. But does that just mean there's no audio? Is this the one I wanted? No. Hold on. I think I checked the case. That's the case, you dumbass. Sometimes you don't always prepare. Is that also the case? We will see, won't we? We'll see, won't we?
I, I don't want to keep Sergeant Williams waiting too long,
Okay.
but if there's something going on with him, I need to know about it so that we can actually have the hearing. Okay. Adios.
I don't know. So keep in mind, guys, this judge is in Thurston County, and he also takes care of veterans
Transfer
court.
cases back and forth like this.
Also, Lisa, I emailed or I messaged you on Discord about that.
Yeah, let us know as soon as you can. Thanks, Justin.
Okay, I'm skipping ahead here.
Husband that Ms. Lopez, if you would just have a seat right there, please. And Ms. Wakefield, and if you'll stay standing right there. Ms. Wakefield, if you'll activate your video, please, and your audio.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And Ms. Lopez is now in the courtroom. I'm going to have you both raise your right hands for me. Swear the testimony in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
I do.
Okay, let me have a seat. Go ahead and have a seat.
Okay.
And pull that with the red light on it. That's your microphone. If you pull.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn this Zoom call off.
Yes, please do that. And if you'll pull that microphone towards you a bit. Good. Ms. Lopez, I want you to say something. Make sure that Ms. Wakefield can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Okay, thank you. Right. Ms. Wakefield, you indicate that Ms. Lopez is or has been a partner of your ex-husband, that on the 20th of September, she was driving your ex-husband's truck and you believed was following you, potentially coming close to causing an accident. And that prior to that, back in January, she had messaged you and sent you derogatory statements, and it also
He sounds like he's buffering, but he's reading.
had mentioned things to your children about and not quite your intimate relations between you and your ex-husband. And I don't know if Ms. Lopez was part of that or not. I can't tell from the way this is written.
Yes, that is correct. On top of messaging another one of my children asking the whereabouts of her father when Janaea Lopez was not able to get a hold of him.
Okay. All right. So I've sort of summarized what you have in here. Is there anything else you want to add at this point?
Well, yes, on top of the asking the whereabouts of their father, the derogatory messages to myself, she also sent that message that she sent me in January to one of my best friends, which included a nude photo of myself and a sex video of her and my ex-husband. She, as the children state, of course, I'm not in the home, but she is very inappropriate with my son, inappropriate touching. She targets my 13-year-old. Per my 13-year-old's statement to me, she has it out to make her life a living hell. And she put all of us in danger and almost hit us because she wanted to see who was in my car when she was stalking either my ex-husband, me, both. I'm not sure, but me and my children are pretty done having to deal with her unstableness and that she's a loose cannon, because that's not normal and it's not acceptable. And we've been on a roller coaster ride with this woman for too long, and we're ready to get off.
Okay, so for the record, the derogatory statements were specifically what?
The huge 5-paragraph message.
Okay, what do we think the derogatory statements were, you guys? You're a fucking bitch. He hates you and loves me. He's gonna leave you for me. I love fucking your husband. What else? You're fat and ugly. He never loved you. Um, anybody else want to chime in here, or just me outside being weird and derogatory? Your radio looks like shitty assembly from Taco Bell. I know that person sent sex pictures of her allegedly, and you know what? We don't call for that. We don't go for that in here. Remember, the person, so that means the girl at the table, for shame, girl, you don't send somebody else's sex pictures.
That was sent in January. There's been quite a few. She also called me quite a few choice words in the presence of my children. But the derogatory message back in January attacked me as a person in general. I'm a horrible mother. I can pull it up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't need to get into that so much. Were there threats in there, or it was just a derogatory message in a variety of ways?
Derogatory message in a variety of ways.
Okay. And your children are Thomas, Brooklyn, and Mackenzie?
Tomas, but yes, correct.
Tomas. Okay. And they are all three your children?
Correct.
And do they, what's the custodial status with those children between you and your ex-husband?
We share 50-50 is our current agreement.
Okay.
Again, this is not the video buffering, it's the judge buffering inside his own head.
And as part of your request, you're asking me to order Ms. Lopez to have no contact with your children. Is that right?
That is correct. With the ongoing circumstances and then it finally ending and her putting all of us in danger, that is what I'm asking. And my children have asked to not be around her.
And is it your understanding that Ms. Lopez still has a relationship with your ex-husband?
They're on again, off again. This all happened. He invited us over because they broke up. He invited us over for dinner and to explain to them that
On and off, on and off. Yeah, that's what some people call sex these days.
he would be moving in with his mother and would have his visits there. And they've broken up at least 3 times that I know for sure in the last 6 months from moving in. And I think amongst the crazy, the instability of on again, off again is just not healthy.
And Ms. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, I haven't been served yet. I heard through the grapevine that there was going to be this hearing since Nicole was bragging to family members that she was taking me to court. So I did pull up the statement online.
Humble brag. I'm taking the girl who's fucking my ex-husband to court. What the fuck kind of brag is that? I don't think that's bragging. Oh, girl. I'm getting crazy stage 5 clinger vibes already off of table Tanya or whatever her name is.
And I do have text messages and things that I would like to present to you. That's why I came into person to see if I could present that to you today. Because as Nicole does state, Dayton and I do live together. We do have the kids 50% of the time. She's refusing to let him see the children unless they're supervised or at his mother's house. And she's forcing him to, I believe with everything that I present to you, you're going to see that she's just using this because she does not like me and she doesn't like our relationship. Nicole, at the beginning of our relationship, she was having an ongoing affair with Dayton. So there is that back and forth with us. By no means did I ever try to scare Nicole or her children. I'm very sorry that you felt that way. I've apologized to her children personally. I just wanted to verify I was on the phone with Dayton when I pulled up. And I said, is Nicole leaving your house? He said, yes, the kids are in the car. He was on the phone with me while I pulled up behind them to verify that the children were in the car, that it was just not another incident of him cheating again. So I would like to be able to present what I have to you today so that we can make sure that I don't have a judgment against the children that do live with us 50% of the time.
And the custodial order, Ms. Wakefield, came from Thurston County Family Court, is that correct?
Me and Dayton Minor have a verbal agreement because we have always tried to keep it kosher. I would like to add on to her statement that
Okay, yeah, hold on right now. I just
okay.
want to sort through some of this.
Yep.
So
verbal,
is there a divorce?
verbal agreement.
Has there been a divorce?
We were never legally married, sir. I'm also here. I'm the support for Janaea Lopez. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, hold tight. I'm going to ask Ms. Wakefield some questions. And what's
Oh, the husband showed up for the girlfriend. Oh, dear. Interesting. Okay.
your ex-husband's name, Ms. Wakefield?
Dayton Minor.
Okay, thank you. And have you been divorced?
We were never legally married. We were together 14 years. Our marriage ended when I found out about him and Janaea Lopez.
Okay, so there wasn't a marriage. You've not had a formal divorce.
No.
Okay, so you were partners. You're not partners any longer. As far as custodial status, two of you came to an agreement, but there is no court order.
Correct.
Okay. And did you happen to discuss this with Judge Meyer when you were before Judge Meyer getting a temporary order?
No, at that time they were broken up and he had agreed. He was living with his mother and he was going to have the visits there. The children voiced they didn't want to be around her. They didn't want to be involved with her. He said, that's no issue because I'm living here. We are broken up. And now they're back together. And now it's where we are.
Thank you. Okay, so first of all, Ms. Lopez has correctly indicated she has not formally been served.
Yes, my servicer attempted 7 times. Nobody came to the door until the last time somebody did answer, slammed it, and locked it in their face. So I've tried to serve her.
Okay.
Your Honor, that's
Okay,
all we have.
yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Service is it's a legal obligation, and until it's formally complete, we can't do much unless service is waived. Now, Ms. Lopez is sitting before the court. So we have 2 options, and most in this regard, Ms. Lopez says the say, Ms. Lopez, we can proceed today. And, I can hear further from you if you wish, and or you are entitled to be formally served. We'll make sure you get a copy of everything that's been filed and reset this if you wish, with today having been the service date, and put it on next Monday, or we can proceed today, and that's your call since you haven't formally been served.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. I would like to know if today I could submit the multiple text messages that I have from her and from her children, and also that Dayton can speak on my behalf. That's what I would like to have. I don't know if that's something that we can do. I also am very concerned of pushing this out, that again, this extends, Dayton not being able to see his children and bringing them to our home.
Okay, so I will let you tell me what you have on your
Sure.
phone, but I'm going to sort of limit the topical area. And then the issue of the children is going to be a bit more problematic, and I'm going to have to address that in a different way. But we can address all those issues today, and I can hear from Mr. Meyer if that becomes important.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
Right now, I'll just let you know what I want you to focus on are any messages or any comments you have that are directly related to the relationship that you have with Ms. Wakefield, not the children. Take the children out of it. So
Okay.
Just any comments back and forth. Ms. Wakefield has said she was concerned by you following her in the truck, and she was also concerned about derogatory language you sent to her in a text, and the fact that you shared a sex tape with Ms. Wakefield's friend. So those are the things I want to talk about.
Okay.
So any comments or text, and don't show them to me. I want you to say them out loud. So
Yes, sir.
because Ms. Wakefield's not here and she has to be able to know what I'm hearing.
I understand.
Okay.
So what was the first one you wanted me to address on?
It just is the relationship. All
The
we're talking about
relationship?
is you and Ms. Wakefield.
Yes. Nicole and my relationship started probably a couple of years ago in October, 2 years ago. I was in a relationship with a gentleman. We decided to have a couple swap. So that's how I met Nicole, and that's how I met Dayton. From that moment on, him and I pursued.
Oh dear. Okay. A couple swap, Lisa. It sounds like they did a little more than swap. Well, we'll have to hear the details here, what the original intent was. I am not worried at all about people swapping wives or swapping partners and having a good time as long as they're all consenting adults. So these two played? Is that what I'm getting here? These two? And they're guys? And then there was obviously a breakdown somehow. I will say that sex swapping and sex sexcapades is not a good way to save a marriage. It does not tend to work very well for people that are already in a crumbling marriage. I'll say that. It's totally, it's difficult to do. So you have to be in a right headspace to be doing that. So that's all I'll caution about that. She's a Maker's here. Jody Gardner's here. Melanie's here. Vicky's here. People are here. Streamlabs is here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Get your bets in. We don't know when that will go away. Let's continue watching this. Let's see what they say about the thruple slash quadruple slash fun that they had. I hope it was at least fun once.
Relationship. He ended up leaving Nicole so that we could be together. During that time that he and him were in a relationship, a very public relationship, I do have messages from Nicole where she messages me that I've been sleeping with him the whole time, bitch. I thought that he would just come back to me, just very aware that him and I were in a relationship and that they were having an affair.
Okay, now it's an affair? Aren't you the one having the affair? Hold on. Is she taking the position of the scorned wife in this dynamic? I think that's what she's doing. I think I don't. Okay, we better just watch it. If you can't tell, I have not watched this entire thing yet.
An affair. Her and I have both exchanged text messages and words. That one that she is referring to, I sent to her current boyfriend at the time. It was not her friend, letting her boyfriend know that she had been sleeping with Dayton. And that's what she is referring to. And then I also have quite a few messages in regards to the children where I speak with her and I say, well, she claims that I've screamed at the children before and I've...
Okay, let's leave the children out.
Okay, you're right. Sorry about that, sir. Let's see what other ones I have here. I have quite a bit. There's also been times where Nicole talks, sends messages as to Dayton, just talking badly about me, talking about how she didn't recognize me at the family event, and neither did her friends recognize me at the family event because of how ugly I look. She's also made sure to talk. He has a huge family. He has 14 brothers and sisters. He's the baby of the family. Nicole still.
She's shaking her head no. Oh my God. Oh, this is the pettiest shit. Oh, neither of these women were ready to be in any type of polyamorous or swapping situation. I can tell you that right now. Look at that, how invested both of them are. Oh my God. Can you, like, it's probably some mean ass. If there's 14 siblings plus their wives slash ex-wives, well, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to be dealing with in a family. And if you're still a wife, I mean, you were never married, so you're as good a wife as you ever were. Oh, jeez. Can you just hear it, Melanie? Oh my God, she's so fucking hideous. I didn't even recognize her at the family event because she's so fucking ugly. I just literally thought she was like a tree stump or something. I didn't even register her as a person. What? We're in front of a judge right now. We're in front of a fucking judge.
Comes to all of the family events. I'm very nice to Nicole. I'm very sweet with her. I have messages where she says, don't say hi to me. I don't like you. I also have messages from her where she tells Dayton that if I come to these family events, I'll catch hands.
Also, I keep thinking she's saying Satan, not Dayton. Listen, girl, you might catch hands. Okay? I don't know how long you and Dayton have been dating, but if he ain't separated from her and he's still fucking her enough that he's got a recent video that you happen to get a hold of and send to somebody to prove that she's fucking him. First of all, weird. Second of all, yeah, I don't know if I'd go to that family event. You'd have to wait and see. That might have just been a fair warning.
Or she's going to hurt me. And I very clearly think that what she's doing is she doesn't like me and she's using the children at this point in time to get a no contact order when I've never tried to harm or never have I put any threats to Nicole. But I do have text messages of her clearly saying that she does want to fight me or put hands on me, Your Honor. So I do have those available. But never once have I stalked or threatened Nicole in any manner.
Okay. And what's the sex tape issue?
It was
Well, Your Honor, the sex tape issue is that somebody tried to use it for blackmail, and that's unacceptable. It's not a problem to make a sex tape. It's not a problem to share a sex tape. It's a problem to use it as blackmail. That's the problem. So keep that in mind, folks.
a video of all of us together.
And you sent that to whom?
To her boyfriend at the time. It was on Facebook. I CC'd her and the boyfriend.
Well, that's why I'm off Facebook.
And that was so long ago. I've apologized and we've moved past that. But apparently she's still holding on to that.
Why would you do that?
All right, Ms. Lopez,
Yes,
you have, or pardon me, Ms.
Thanks,
Wakefield, do you
Lupisa.
have anything more you want to add?
Well, I would like to say, well, I don't know what she has as evidence, but I know hers and I's first correspondence when we both found out about each other back in July of last year was not me threatening her. I never told her I was sleeping with Dayton until she told me about Florida and him sleeping with her when I was in surgery, things that I didn't know. And I shared the information that I had. It was never threatening her. In response to saying that she can catch these hands, I did at one point, I will admit, saying that to my ex-husband in reference to her screaming at my children and then telling or saying in the presence of my children that I'm a cunt fucking bitch and that Dayton needs to put me in check. I was livid that she was yelling at my children, and I was livid that she was bad mouthing me in front of them. I did tell her that I don't like her and to please not talk to me because I think that's fair because I don't like her. I didn't want to bring the kids into it. I didn't even want to be here. I don't like doing these things. I think that things should be handled outside of court, but when it comes to a point that you put me and my children in danger, I don't know what else to do because regardless of the reasoning, that's what happened is my children and me were put in danger so that she could see who was in my car. And it's not just me saying that, it's all three of my children who were in the car and seen her almost hit us. I couldn't even brake or she would have smashed my back end of my car. That is insane. Between her treating my kids, screaming at them, having no boundaries, touching them inappropriately, having
Yeah, Ms.
inappropriate
Wakefield.
conversations.
I'm going to say the same thing to you that I said to Ms. Lopez. At this
Okay,
point,
between
the
me and
issues
her.
with the children are not for the court.
Okay. So between her and I, that is all I have to say in regards to that. It was not, me and hers conversations and interactions were not negative until she wrote me those hate messages in January. And at that point, I said, I want nothing to do with you.
Okay, when was the last time you received a text message from Ms. Lopez or any other message?
The last time that I received a message.
When was the last time she received a message? And what is she talking about, the inappropriate touching? That's such a harsh allegation that she knows I don't like the misuse of that, if that's what that is. That's what it feels like that is. I'm going to tell you that right now. Hi, Tommy V and MI. Welcome. I hope you're doing well today. Raid. Make sure you've clicked the like button and subscribed if you're going to do that.
Message from Miss Lopez was after she screamed at my child and called me a cunt fucking bitch in front of them, which was August, maybe. She's blocked on everything now.
So she hasn't contacted you since August, and at that time she contacted you because she had heard from you, or why did she
No.
contact?
She contacted me to say that we should be able to get along. We should be able to co-parent. And at that point, I said, I don't like you. I don't need to be involved with you at all. Me and you need to have no communication. Don't scream at my children. Don't call me horrible names in front of them, and we'll be fine. And I'll co-parent with Dayton. And that was it. And then, everything else has been through the grapevine of my children because they've had to be around her. My 13-year-old has a therapy team that she expresses all of these things to as well. So since that correspondence, after that incident, everything has been through my children or through Dayton until she almost hit us.
So, and that incident with the truck that occurred back in September, have there been any other incidents like that?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, Tommy, don't worry. You guys, it's okay. We don't kink shame in here. We don't chat shame in here. So, but let me just recap if you're just getting here. We're in Thurston County District Court for protective order hearings. I am wondering what happened in this situation where they went from couple swapping to insult swapping. I think she said cunt fucking bitch like 3 times. Anyways, let's go ahead. Tommy V and MI, thank you again for being here. You guys got a sub to his channel. Great stuff. Great work. Thank you, Jonathan. A quarruple. Lisa, that'd be the word, hey? Anyways, they both seem very upset and petty and upset and petty and petty and petty. What is it in the eternal words of Lizzo? If he don't want you, then walk your fine ass out the door or something like that. I don't remember. My brain doesn't work the same as you guys. One of you will know what I mean. If he don't want you anymore, then walk your fine ass out the door. There it is.
Your Honor, do I have a chance to speak?
In just a moment.
Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Lopez,
Yes, Your Honor.
speak to me about what your thought process was when you were following Ms. Wakefield's car.
Absolutely. So first of all, Your Honor, I was not following Miss Wakefield's car. Dayton and I had my 2 children in the car also. My daughter Avea, and who's 12, and my 6-year-old daughter Monet. We were going out grocery shopping. I knew Dayton didn't have food, so I drove by there to drop him off food. As I was entering, Nicole was pulling out. So I turned the car around. I called Dayton and I asked him why Nicole was leaving, because the last time Nicole was leaving his house, that's when I found out that they were cheating at that time. So he verified, he said she just came to watch a movie with the kids. The kids
She just came like 3 times and then watched a movie with the kids.
are in the car. The kids are in the car. I didn't cheat on you. So I did pull up behind Nicole. I did not come in an aggressive manner. I did honk the horn so that she could stop the vehicle so I could see if the kids were in the vehicle. She did stop the vehicle. She turned left. I turned right. That was the incident in the car. I have never stalked her or threatened her. I also did want to bring up that those messages where she claims that she didn't. I have a message here where she says, I fucked him at least once a time the whole week. And you're a dirty bitch. That's one here. And then I also have all of the messages here to where she says that I screamed at her child and our conversation. That what happened there, Your Honor, is Brooklyn, her daughter, tends to steal things from both Nicole and myself. I found some Versace perfume that Brooklyn had stolen and some cologne that she'd stolen from her dad. So we had put it up and I worked downstairs. All 5 of the kids were there. I was working downstairs.
Okay.
And
We don't need to get into the
okay.
children.
I just want to clarify that screaming. And then I do have all those messages from our last contact that she refers to. And then I have also on the 11th, due to the threatening text messages that she sent to Dayton, I am filing also a no harassment order against her that will be held on.
What is this lady talking about? She's doing all the wifey things when in reality she's the girlfriend, isn't she? Also, the cell phone service lately has been splotchy, I will say. Splotchy. But not the sun today. Did pretty good with the sun today. Anyways, what do you guys think is going to be happening here? This is, again, you women are adults. Just move on. Put your finance out the door. Doors either that way or that way. One or the other. Or forward or back. You know, there's probably like 4 to maybe like 15 directions from where you're standing that a door could be. Find it. Go out of it.
The 11th. And I think that clearly what she's doing is she's just trying to separate me. I have not caused her any harm. I do not send her threatening messages. I do not stalk her. I think this is just a matter of her trying to take control. I have messages from her telling Dayton that the kids are not allowed to come around me. She has to keep him at the house. And her son, Tomas, just said that he does want to come home. And he has those messages to his fathers that he misses his room. And just Brooklyn, she goes by Vivian, just called him yesterday and argued with him yesterday because she does not want to stay at her grandma's house. So those are the things that I wanted to make sure that you heard from me.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand catty bitches either. I need the temporary order, he says. I can't stand catty cunts. I may be a bad girl, but I don't like drama. You've denied? You think it's denied? Everyone get your thoughts in here. Denied or put in place. I think he's going to postpone it. I think he's not even heard the fucking hearing. He's going to say, she didn't get proper service. I'm going to reset this for October 30th. Or October 23rd. Thanks, Mayor, and congrats, Colin. That's awesome for him. 5,000 subs. Woo! Like I said, this judge buffers in his head, which is fine. Like everybody's different. There's not enough room in my head for buffering. Just spewing. So I'm probably looking for the original Craigslist ad where they found each other for the phone number. Joking, allegedly. Oh, Melanie, that does happen as you get older. Your slot does get broken. No, I'm just joking. No, it's probably not broken. You just, it's not a big winning thing for slots. It's a little lesson there to be learned. Who's she talking to? Dayton? Dayton, I am so mad that you showed up at court. Fucking
And Mr. Meyer, I have one question for you.
yeah, Dayton. I got
Yes, sir.
a question.
Do you and Ms. Lopez currently reside together?
We absolutely do.
Okay, thank you. And you are the father.
Absolutely do. We absolutely do. Also, Dayton, I have a couple questions for you, my bud. My bud, I have a fucking few questions. Let's just say that.
The three children that Ms. Wakefield was just talking about.
That is correct, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Not the questions I would have
All
asked,
right,
Judge.
so let's deal with the children issue first. This court does not have jurisdiction to decide who gets to see the children and under what terms. That's an issue for family court. So I cannot address that issue raised by Ms. Wakefield about her concern about the children and their contact with Ms. Lopez. Ms. Wakefield, if you want to address that, you're going to have to deal with that through an order at family court. So if that's what you want to do, you're going to have to go to speak with them about that.
Yes, Your Honor.
I do have jurisdiction over the relationship between Ms. Wakefield and Ms. Lopez. In this case, the allegations are.
Ooh, I don't know if I've heard that before. I have jurisdiction over this relationship. Don't you ever forget it. Jurisdiction over a relationship? I really don't think I've ever heard of. I mean, I know they imply that, and that's sort of what they're talking about a lot of the time, but it's a weird way to put it, Judge. Judgy McJudgerson, Mr. Judgy.
A quite derogatory message sent back in January. And then the concern that Ms. Wakefield had about Ms. Lopez following Ms. Wakefield. Ms. Wakefield believes it was done aggressively. Ms. Lopez denies that. Ms. Lopez says she was doing it to see if, in fact, the children were in the car or whether Ms. Wakefield had been at Mr. Meyer's house for other purposes. And this has occurred on one occasion. Nobody's indicated that this is any sort of pattern or routine. I also note that Ms. Lopez has shared with the court, and Ms. Wakefield has heard these messages that Ms. Wakefield sent to Ms. Lopez that are also derogatory. As to the issue of the relationship between the two of you, it's clear that neither one of you wants to have contact with the other, and you each have shared derogatory messages back and forth. I don't find that a basis for me to enter the order in this case, nor do I find the truck incident sufficient enough for me to enter an order. It was explained. There's a different view of it. It was inappropriate. I don't think that Ms. Lopez should ever repeat that type of behavior.
Yes, sir.
Where you put children in between two adults trying to figure out whether somebody was sleeping with somebody else. That's wholly inappropriate for any adult to do, to subject these poor children to the tension that exists here. But it is not a subject that I can address in this order, and I will not do so. So I'm going to deny Ms. Wakefield's request for protection order in this case. I will make clear that I would urge both parties to understand that neither one wants contact from the other and should honor that and go forward in that way. I don't have the order for, apparently there's an order to be heard.
Yes, sir.
You may want to reconsider that, Ms. Lopez, with the understanding that what I've just said, that
Okay.
I don't think there's enough here for a court to enter an order concerning the relationship between the two. But I really urge the two of you, Ms. Wakefield and Ms. Lopez, to just stop contacting each
I think it started out as like hard swinging, Mikey. Like pretty hard, full swap swinging. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what soft swinging is. I don't know. But full swap, baby. You know, we don't kink shame in here. So whatever people are into, that's what we give. But he's denying the order. So obviously he thought, they signed up for it themselves.
other. If Ms. Wakefield, if you have concerns about Ms. Lopez's contact with your children, you're going to have to address that through family court and potentially getting an order there concerning custodial status.
Courtney says, with slippery hands from the bathtub. Soft swinging is boring. That's all I know. I don't know. I'm sure one night a week that could be fun.
They're not your children, Ms. Lopez, so you don't have any ability to go to family court and seek such an order. Mr. Meyer does if he wishes, but you don't. So hopefully that puts to rest the issues raised in this case. I have signed an order to this effect, and since Ms. Lopez is present in the court, we'll make a copy.
Hiya, Heather. Hope you're doing well. Where's your guy? I heard he hit 5,000 subs. That's awesome. We're glad to hear it. I think Mikey's got it correct. This is probably a bit of a cult of Mikey. Hi, Donna. Miss Orlando Chiquita in the house.
Of it and give her a copy, and then Ms. Wakefield, you can always access the copy through your district court file if you wish.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Actually, somebody put baby in the chat. Exclamation mark, baby. And we'll see what happens with this judge. There's obviously maybe another hearing. Does Miss Lopez have another TPO coming against her? I don't know. It's
Thanks for seeing us today, Your Honor. That other courtroom had, I guess, 17 people in there.
17
Yeah, we're trying to
cases.
do a little overflow work.
And I panicked this morning because I didn't get served, and I was able to find everything online, which was nice.
Okay, that's now inappropriate, Miss Lopez. Just fucking get the fuck out. Okay, you won. So I would scurry your little creepy ass away because you're being weird.
you took care of it and don't have to come
Yes.
back on another day.
Yeah.
So if you'll come on up here, we'll give you a copy.
Yes, of course. With the, I don't want that, I think just the messages won't be enough, so just drop it. How do I do that?
I can't give you legal
Oh,
advice.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So you heard what I said. You can just call the court and say,
Okay.
I have something scheduled. I'm not going to come in on
All
it.
right, perfect, thank you. Yeah, of course.
That was quite the case. Again, we never really heard what the arrangement was at the beginning. Soft swinging, hard swinging, full swap. Baby. We don't know what they agreed to or what their conversations were like when they agreed to it. That's really the key, folks. Communication. It's the key. He's buffering. It's not buffering.
Sergeant Wood.
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
thank you.
I'm here.
All right. Do you have video capability there, please?
Yes, please. Give me 1 sec.
Do we think it's the winning girl that the good ass Mikey, or is it the
Thank you.
ex that he
And
keeps going
Sergeant
back
Williams, if you'll activate your video, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
to? Or maybe one of them's mouth is better. It really depends on what he likes.
Okay, if you both raise your right hands.
Yeah.
Swear the testimony in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
I totally do
Thank
too.
you. And is it Sergeant Wood? Is that correct?
No, it's First Sergeant Wood, sir.
Okay. Well, as a former officer, I called
I don't know
first
what those
sergeants
mean.
sergeant, but okay. If you're the first sergeant, you're the first sergeant. I get it.
I am.
Is it really Major Wood? Sergeant Wood. I have a funny feeling these guys have some wife problems as well. Also, if you guys are just getting here, oh, maybe you can hear that. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. So helpful.
So, as I understand it, Sergeant Williams, you are in a relationship with First Sergeant Wood's ex-wife or ex-partner. Is that correct?
No, they are not. They have just separated at this time, sir.
Okay, so you had
Oh, already Sergeant Wood is very upset. We can see Mr. Suit, Sergeant Suit man down here, very upset. Ah, what a question. Is good sex enough to steal someone's spouse? Is good sex enough to steal someone's spouse? If they leave, is it really stealing?
Yes, I've known her since 2019. She's been a friend.
okay, and it is that relationship which is being referred to in the texts that you provided the court and the threats in those texts made by First Sergeant Wood. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and it's those texts that filed this request for a protection order and had you come to the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And First Sergeant Wood, and let me clarify one other thing. I believe as part of the text, they refer to an incident where First Sergeant Wood actually fired a round in the home he resided in. And was his wife or partner, Sergeant Williams? Do you know?
That was his wife. That on or around 18 March 2023, Your Honor.
That's right around my birthday. 7 days away from my birthday. That's intense. That ain't good. That sounds like a lot of crazy.
Okay. And at least one of the children was present, is that correct?
Yes,
you-
Your Honor. I believe so. He was sleeping at the time.
Okay. All right. You know, and where did this occur? Where was the home? Was it on JBLM or was it off post?
No, sir. There's her residence is in Yelm.
All right. And you weren't directly involved in that. You're just reporting that as part of the basis for your concern. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So First Sergeant Wood, I'm going to ask you a couple questions here, and right now, just specifically answer my question, and I'll explain why I'm asking that. Was there any law enforcement?
I don't know about that, Mikey, because I think these men are both in the US military. I don't think that the wife is in there. I do know that people that work together often get entangled in love affairs of the heart. Because sometimes somebody that you work with can understand things better. They might also just be sexier. Again, no judgment. Different units. Yeah, but I don't think his wife was also in the military, was she? Was this a swap gone wrong too? Oh my God.
Involvement in the firing of a round in the home?
No,
Okay. So no officers ever come out?
no, sir. Absolutely not.
Okay. And you're still active duty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does the company commander know about this incident?
Yes. Everybody knows about this incident, sir. And I've already surrendered my weapons to DuPont. And I wasn't the one that shot the gun. It's just the story that is being told.
Okay. So we'll sort of work our way through these. Okay. So I've reviewed a whole bunch of texts. Sort of, my review of it not being involved is I'd be concerned based on what I'm seeing in those texts. They seem to be pretty direct threats. And if you combine that with the implication of a round being fired ostensibly by you,
I'm assuming you would not know any of that from experience, Mikey. Why would they call them that? Oh, he's all pussy whipped still, you think?
you in the home, that makes those threats even more palatable, or not palatable, but probable, I guess. So First Sergeant Wood, you go ahead, explain your side of it to me.
This man has been involved in a inappropriate relationship with my wife since May 21st. His avatar on Zoom is a picture from her Instagram.
Oh, and it hurts him so bad. His avatar on Zoom is a picture of her Instagram. I mean, that's ballsy. Is that what we're talking about? Ballsy? His wife is a super slut. Good for her. Maybe. Maybe she was, and he can't handle it.
Like, I didn't shoot a gun in the house. A gun was shot in the house, but it wasn't by me. She's also been to jail for beating me up multiple times. Just the one time she went to jail, she busted me up. And the first person she called was Star First Class Williams.
Sounds like she really likes him. I bet she wakes up in the morning and she rolls over and she picks up her phone and she sees his little avatar and just a smile crosses her face. And I bet when you text her, that doesn't happen.
I've never laid a hand on anybody. I have a pretty prestigious career. I've served in the three most.
I have a pretty prestigious career, says nobody who has a prestigious career. Am I wrong? That's not, you can't say that about yourself. You cannot say that. What the fuck?
Elite units that you can serve in the Army. I have 2 Bronze Stars, 1 with V.
They're giving away stars with vaginas? He's wearing a tie because he had to surrender all his weapons, if we recall. Is bronze the best? Courtney, don't make me laugh about that. I don't know. Isn't gold the best? But I think militarily that is something, and all due respect. I don't know.
I've given literally everything to this country and to everybody that I serve with. I don't mean Star First Class Williams any harm whatsoever. I just don't like that, he's in a relationship with my wife and we're still.
Oh, there it is. That's the crux of this one, ladies and gentlemen. That is the crux of this one. Oops, that far. Not that far back. About there. Hi, William. Hi, Dana.
Explain why I'm asking that. Was there any law enforcement involvement in the firing of a round in the home?
No.
Okay. So no officers ever come out?
No, sir. Absolutely not.
Okay. And you're still active duty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does the company commander know about this incident?
Yes. Everybody knows about this incident,
I went back
sir.
too far. Oops.
And I've already surrendered my weapons to DuPont. And I wasn't the one that shot the gun. It's just the story that is being told.
Okay. So we'll sort of work our way through these. Okay. So I've reviewed a whole bunch of texts. Sort of, my review of it not being involved is I'd be concerned based on what I'm seeing in those texts. They seem to be pretty direct threats. And if you combine that with the implication of a round being fired ostensibly by you in the home, that makes those threats even more palatable, or not palatable, but probable, I guess. So First Sergeant Wood, you go ahead, explain your side of it to me.
Go ahead again. Let's hear this again. Sorry, I went back too far.
This man has been involved in a inappropriate relationship with my wife since May 21st. His avatar.
He knows the date. That's sad too. Does he have like a little star on the calendar?
on Zoom is a picture from her Instagram. Like, I didn't shoot a gun in the house. A gun was shot in the house, but it wasn't by me. She's also been to jail for beating me up multiple times. Just the one time she went to jail, she busted me up. And the first person she called was Star First Class Williams. I've never laid a hand on anybody. I have a pretty prestigious career. I've served in the 3 most elite units that you can serve in the Army. I have 2 Bronze Stars, 1 with V. I've given literally everything to this country and to everybody that I serve with. I don't mean Star First Class Williams any harm whatsoever. I just don't like that, he's in a relationship with my wife and we're still married. And that's pretty much it, sir.
So I'm looking at what I assume are text messages. I see one from your wife where you two are going back and forth, and she says you shot a gun off with Beck in the house, and then you said, "I am sorry. I feel completely disgusting for that. That's not who I am. I can't live with myself about this." So that seems to me to be an indicator that you, in fact, were the one who shot the round.
I took the fall for that, sir. She came back to the house with 6 dudes.
Okay, well, most husbands would be pretty pissed about that if they didn't arrange it first. Oh, seriously, what did he say? Hold on, can we just.
With V. I've given literally everything to this country and to everybody that I serve with. I don't mean Star First Class Williams any harm whatsoever. I just don't like that, he's in a relationship with my wife and we're still married. And that's pretty much it, sir.
So I'm looking at what I assume are text messages. I see one from your wife where you two are going back and forth, and she says you shot a gun off with Beck in the house, and then you said, "I am sorry. I feel completely disgusting for that. That's not who I am. I can't live with myself about this." So that seems to me to be an indicator that you, in fact, were the one who shot the round.
I took the fall for that, sir. She
took the fall. I hit another button there. I don't know. It's fucked up.
She came back to the house with 6 dudes. And we were goofing around, and I just wanted him to leave. I pointed a gun for sure, but
some husbands want to see their wives to 6 dudes.
I'll take, yeah. We were on a lot of we were drinking a lot back then, and I don't really know if I even have like a good memory. Maybe. I'm not trying to be dishonest with you. I'm just trying to not remember. I'm trying to remember right now, Your Honor. But I don't want to harm anybody. I don't want to harm Jeff. I don't want to harm Megan. I don't want to harm anybody. I'm like, my life's.
Remember Jeff, remember Megan. Okay. let's remember who he did not want to threaten. I would like to see the wife too, Mikey. I always want to see the wife. That's my own dirty, toxic trait.
Falling apart. And
F in chat for the wife. Sure. F in the chat for the wife. F in the chat for wives everywhere.
I'm trying to do everything I can to like make this right. My guns are turned into DuPont police. I have no access to weapons. I've not followed Jeff. I've not, gone to his work or anything like that. The only thing I did was make a complaint with IG that he was in excuse me, in an inappropriate relationship with my wife. And that's it. That did happen.
Do you have video? The last guy had video. We would like to see some videos. Inappropriate, Paisley. Stop it.
Yeah, and I mean, that the nature of the relationship between Sergeant First Class Williams and your wife, I can't address it. That's not the issue for me to address.
I understand that.
So, and I don't want to appear insensitive to that. I understand what you're talking about here, but the issue before me is your reaction to that, and there are ways of dealing with it that are appropriate and ways of dealing with it that are inappropriate, and that's the issue we're talking about here.
Understood, sir.
And so, who is Megan?
Megan.
Well, let me tell you, Megan, depends how you spell the name. If it's an Megyn, she could be crazy, okay? But other spellings of Megan, it varies. Your mileage may vary. Let's put it that way.
Sir.
I'm sorry?
Megan is Sergeant First Class Williams' roommate. They live together.
Okay.
Well, or did.
Okay, so I have what appear to be texts or IMs. It says, the only reason you, Jeff, and Megan are still alive is because of me. Leave, all of you. I'm giving you a pass, but after Wednesday it's on, and I'm going to crush you and Jeff and Megan.
I'm going to crush you and Jeff and Megan. Oh my God. These are adults, folks. You need to move on. You need to stop crushing your ex's new people. This is fucked up. And also, yeah, she had 6 other guys checking on her. I mean, depending on what they did, I could see what's going on. And yeah, lots going on at Jeff's house. I'll say that. Look at Jeff. Look at Jeff. And look at the other guy in his suit being like, I have lost my wife. Jeff has Megan living with him too. I'm gonna fucking kill Jeff. I'm gonna fucking kill Megan. I'm gonna kill them all. I mean, I'm gonna laugh them all.
Did you send those?
I did.
Okay. And you've explained to me the mental state you're in that regard. So I appreciate your being honest here.
And Your Honor, I go to therapy 4 days a week.
Okay, let's just talk about that for a minute. 4 days a week therapy? Let's just think about what that costs. $150 a session, that's $600 a week. That's $2,400 a month. I mean, we're talking almost about $30,000, $27,000 a year in therapy. What? That alone is insanity. That's a lot of people's income for the year that you're spending on therapy. Paid for by the government 4 times a week. Now listen, y'all, you told me you don't have socialized medicine. That sounds very socialized to me. 4 times a week? That's a lot. Seriously. Even government mandate, like government paid for therapy here might be like once every 2 weeks. 4 times a week? That's literally going to be like at least $25,000 a year. Also, did you see my mental math I did? I'm so no, I'm not really.
Because of all this stuff. Like I'm in an intensive outpatient program. And she knows what to say to like get me to react.
It's her fault. She knows what to say, or you go to therapy 4 days a week. So I'm just going to bet that a lot of things set you off. Like, no offense to anybody that goes to therapy 4 days a week. I'm sort of jealous. You know, I talk a lot. I think maybe 4 days a week I could get somewhere with therapy. But I can easily fill up an hour a week. Just myself talking about shit that don't matter. So,
Am I proud of saying that? No, I am not. 100%. I am completely ashamed and I don't know, willing to do whatever just to just go away. I know it's not going to go away, but I'm very upset.
Right.
I don't want to hurt anybody. I just get when somebody pokes you and you react. And I'm a very, very reactive person when you get poked. I know it's not healthy.
sounds
That's why
great to
I'm
be in the
going to therapy
military.
4 days a week, sir. And I can give you the number for Dr.
Humble brag yet again. 4 days a week, sir. Seriously, if you said that, I mean, honestly, if that's insane to me. Poke me hard.
Real Barry Greenwood and my clinician who gives me my medication.
Thank you, First Sergeant. Sergeant First Class Williams, anything else you would like to say?
I would just like to get Megan Russell added to the protection order since she resides in my house. If that's possible, sir.
Oh, Megan.
What's her date of birth?
I do not have that information at this time.
I know her name, but I don't know her date of birth. So you can't really be that close, right? I bet some people in here know my date of birth.
I'm sir.
Thank you. Are you both in the same unit?
Myself and Megan, sir.
No. You and First Sergeant Wood.
No, Your
No.
Honor.
First Sergeant Wood, are you in first group?
I am not.
Okay. What unit are you talking about then?
I'm in 114 cap right now, sir.
Okay. And what unit are you in, Sergeant First Class Williams?
42nd MP Brigade, sir.
Okay.
Megan and the wife are scissoring right now. Hey, you know what? Suspiciously, neither of them are present. So I'm going to have to go with yes. True. True, Mikey. Megan and the wife are scissoring right now, baby. I'm such a dirty, dirty.
And First Sergeant Wood, the DuPont police took your weapons?
I surrendered. As soon
No,
as
I know, but you
Yes.
surrendered them to and they actually took them into custody?
Yes, I have I scanned this into Thurston County on Wednesday. I don't know if you were able to receive it in time, but that's all my weapons. And that's the receipt weapon. I know it's not the best medium for this.
Yeah, I see that it was done. Thank you I appreciate that. I was surprised because I think technically it would have been Pierce County. They're the ones who had the special arrangement with the provost marshal on post.
No, I scanned the document to Thurston County because that's who Jeff or Sergeant First Class Williams made the complaint with. So I wanted to make sure that, he got notice that, if things were turned in. I got served by Pierce County, but DuPont's in Pierce County. They have it too. But I gave it to Thurston. I'm going to give it to Pierce County after this.
Yeah. No, yeah. You misunderstood me. So first of all, I was surprised that DuPont took your weapons. Normally, I would think they'd say, no, we can't take your weapons. You have to go to Pierce County. Since Pierce County has the relationship with the provost marshal where they can come on post once a week. So anyway, they did. I'm surprised they took them, but they did. And as far as that document goes, I don't have it in our file yet, and we do need one. So if you can try sending that back down to us one more time.
But the way I read the order, it was like nearest law enforcement right now, and I'm staying in right now. So that was the first split. As soon as I got served, that was the next thing I did. Yeah,
and I appreciate that. And you don't have to go get your weapons at DuPont and take them to Pierce County. That's not the issue. All I was saying is I was a little surprised.
Well, I gave them the CPO and the weapon surrender, and they were like, okay, and they'll take it.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
What do you guys think's gonna happen? Is he gonna put it in place? This is a crazy hearing as well. Okay, nobody cry, please. Unless crying's your kink, and then I guess go for it. Seeing granted. I hope so. The dude is scary. He's denied from Lisa Figalicious. William says, I would like cases he is having a flirt chat with someone in the audience, and we are all in the way. It's so intuitive, William. T-Rex says, granted.
And Sergeant First Class Williams, the two, you and First Sergeant Wood have never worked together. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
No,
and confirmed. Thank you. And
yeah, Sergeant or First Sergeant, sorry, not Sergeant, but First Sergeant Wood looks ready to snap like a branch or a twig or a stick. I can't think of anything else for wood. A tree. A switch. A sapling. A shooting. I don't shooting. Oh no. Or
You didn't know either. You don't know each other socially other than this situation.
No, Your Honor, I've never spoken to Mr. Wood once
Like,
through text message.
I've never spoken to him either. I just came home and he was in my house.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit off color. Like maybe don't fuck in people's houses when they're still together. I think that's a pretty good. It's also like just safer. Just safer. Plus, like home turf advantage. You don't want to be the away team at somebody's house cheap, you know? Fuck in the front yard. I mean, I fucked in the backyard a lot of times. Front yard a couple times, probably. If you're an alpha, you'll never say you're an alpha. That's the lesson I've learned. Neither did I, William. Don't worry. Nobody thought you were an alpha. At the very least, Holly. But I do think that this judge's nickname should be Judge Buffering from now on. Judge Buffering. How much wood does Sergeant Wood's wife suck if she's sucking someone else's wood? We should make that into a command, Jonathan. Wood, exclamation mark, wood would be how much wood does Sergeant Wood's wife suck if she's sucking someone else's wood? Well, I think 6 plus him plus the other guy. So would that be 7 or 8 woods that Sergeant Wood's wife would sucks? Oh, but not him. So okay, so 7. 7, not including Sergeant Wood. See, these are the kinds of math questions that would get people going. If Sergeant Wood's wife sucked other people's woods, how many? Judges buffering, buffering. That's what he does. He makes them wait while he fills out his paperwork. That's a lesson I learned when I worked at a call center. You don't let them off the phone till you've done your notes so that you can get out of the
And
call.
First Sergeant Wood, in the chat function, we have sent you an email address. If you would scan that surrender form and send it into that email address, that'd be appreciated.
Yes, we'll do. 100%.
Thank you. It's probably sitting in somebody else's inbox in our court. It hasn't made it into your file, but I'd like to
No,
try
I
to
walked
duplicate that
I went
so we
to
get
the
it in there.
court and dropped it off, but I don't know. Like I gave him a hard copy on Tuesday or Wednesday, excuse me.
You came to the court and gave us a hard copy?
Yes, at the district court in Thurston County.
Okay. All right. Then we probably have it, just hasn't been scanned into your file yet. But if
Okay.
you wouldn't mind emailing a copy to that address that's in the chat, we would appreciate that.
Will do.
Okay, thank you. All right, as to the request for the order here,
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last opportunity for you to get your guesses in right now. Is this going to be denied or is this going to be put in place? Ladies and gentlemen, please get your bets in now. Please also note, as a programming note, after this, we will be heading off to Bothell Municipal Court for some bond hearing. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. But what do we granted, denied, granted? Oh, question, is it a hard or soft? Well, I would assume that Woods wood is soft and the rest of them are pretty hard. Mayor. Denied with psychiatric referral from Lisa Figalicious. Remember, ladies, to always be very picky before you put anything in your mouth, especially a sergeant's wood. Granted, Melanie's saying, well, let's see. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Please listen carefully and don't miss it.
I am going to grant the request by Sergeant First Class Williams due to the serious nature of the threats. First Sergeant Wood has given me some context to understand that, so I understand it. I, in fact, am the Veterans Court judge for Thurston County. I was a JAG officer. I've been around. I'm familiar.
Humble brag. I was a JAG officer. Humble brag.
With these types of situations and the stress that soldiers are subjected to. So I understand a little bit about this. But regardless, as I indicated at the beginning, there's a way that one can react to situations like the one presented here, and there's a way not to. And to this point, First Sergeant Wood has acted inappropriately, at least with the nature of the threats. So this order will be in effect, Sergeant First Class Williams, for 1 year from today's date under the same conditions that the temporary order was entered. So First Sergeant Wood, you're to have no contact at all with Sergeant First Class Williams, not to go within 1,000 feet of his residence.
Understood.
Or his vehicle. Sergeant First Class Williams, if you want this order renewed, you have to come back to court and ask for it to be renewed. And First Sergeant Wood, the surrender order remains for the duration of this year. And you can, once the order is lifted, you can repossess those arms. But I would hope you never would consider using it in any inappropriate fashion.
Yes, sir.
And I assume that, or I hope that the treatment, the counseling you're getting is helpful in that regard.
Thank you, sir. It is.
All right. So for both of you, a copy of this order will be available in the district court file for the case. So if you wish to access it, you are welcome to do so.
Yes,
Any
Your Honor.
questions, Sergeant First Class Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and to address the prior issue that you raised, I don't have enough identifying information for Ms. Russell, so I can't add her as a petitioner. However, I will note that I have indicated that First Sergeant Wood is not to go within 1,000 feet of your residence. So if she's a roommate there, she's essentially protected by that portion of the order.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And First Sergeant Wood, do you have any questions about the order that I've just entered?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. I'll thank you both for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, give me 2 minutes. I'm going to pause this and I'll get our next court. It'll be like 2 minutes. So go ahead and go to the potty and get your snack. But give me a second. I just have to fix the window captured to fix the screen capture. That. Oh, girls are nice. That's awful. Here we go.
Okay, we're back on the record on the
What's up? Come on. That first bounce, I thought that was John's.
afternoon calendar. We had one matter remaining on the 1:30 calendar, but it looks like the 2:30 calendar, it's time for that to begin now as well. Just noting for the record that this calendar is being conducted on Zoom and also live streamed to YouTube, and that anyone watching on YouTube who wishes to participate in a particular case needs to go to the Bothell Municipal Court website and click on the link to video court, then click on the link to enter the virtual courtroom. Once there, let the administrator know which case it is you wish to be heard on, and that information will be conveyed to me. The official record of these proceedings is made and maintained by the Bothell Municipal Court. Anyone making a recording without having obtained prior approval of the court may be subject to legal action, including but not limited to contempt proceedings. With that, I believe we are ready to proceed this again. Good afternoon, Ms. Greenwood. What have we got that's ready to proceed?
You're off the 1:30. We are ready on the Bain plea, and then I think we have many of the matters ready on the 2:30 calendar as well. Most of them.
All right. Mr. Bain, good afternoon. If you want to go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hi.
Mr. McMahon.
You have a statement of defendant on plea of guilty in satisfaction of this cause number. I had the opportunity to go over that form in its entirety with Mr. Boehm. I don't believe he had any questions I was not able to answer for him. I also believe he's making this plea knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily, and I did satisfy my duties under Sandoval and Padilla.
All right, thank you. Mr. Boehm, I'm going to ask you to be very patient with me as we go through this document. This is my very first time doing one of these on this particular platform. So we're going to go
My
through
first time too.
Very good. All right. Well, I have a document before me that's entitled Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty with your name and your cause number 3A0221054 on it. Looks like you gave Mr. McMahon permission to sign this document on your behalf. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you have a chance to read or have read to you this entire document prior to deciding to enter into this plea?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to go over it in its entirety with Mr. McMahon?
Yes.
Was he able to answer any questions that you had about it?
Yeah, I didn't have any, but
Okay. Do you have any questions for me about the document?
nope.
All right. And looks like, and we're going to go through this document starting on at number 1. Is Dustin Lee Boehm your true name?
Yes.
Are you 48 years old?
Yeah, I am.
And is the highest level of education you've completed some college?
Yep.
Paragraph 4 indicates the crime that you are charged with that you intend to plead guilty to today is 1 count of an ignition interlock device violation. The elements of that crime were set forth in the charging document that you received. Did you go through those elements carefully to make sure that they accurately describe the crime that you intend to plead guilty to today?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
And it looks like you've indicated that you understand that those elements are what need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you.
Yes.
Paragraph 5 sets forth the constitutional rights that you give up by pleading guilty. They include the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury in the county where the crime was alleged to have been committed, the right to remain silent before and during trial and to refuse to testify against yourself, the right at trial to hear and question any witnesses who would testify against you. You also have the right at trial to testify and to have witnesses testify for you. And those witnesses could be made to appear at no expense to you. You also have the right to the presumption of innocence. It requires a charge be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you, and you have a right to appeal that finding of guilt after trial. You understand that these are your constitutional rights and that by pleading guilty today, you will be giving them up in this case.
Yes.
Paragraph 6 sets forth the consequences of your plea. Did you go through those carefully?
Yes, we did.
Did you make sure that the prosecutor's recommendation that's written in paragraph 6A1, that it accurate, no, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. Sorry, that it's in paragraph 6C, that accurately reflects.
Yeah, I was going to say 6C.
I know. Now I'm all confused here. I'm turned around. They changed this around on us. On this form, the electronic form, the prosecutor's recommendation appears under 6A1, and the maximum possible penalties appear under 6C. So let's just make sure that we're being really clear here. Prosecutor's recommendation is 364 days in jail with all of that time suspended, a $5,000 fine with all of that suspended, and 24 months of probation. And I'm just taking a really quick look here. It doesn't look like, I don't see any probation conditions though. Oh, don't drive, you're properly licensed and have no new criminal law violations, and make sure you have an ignition interlock device in any vehicle you're driving, as long as one is required by Department of Licensing. Sorry, it took me a moment to figure this out, but that's what they're recommending. Does that sound correct to you?
Yes, it does.
That's what they said they would recommend pursuant to the plea agreement?
Yes.
But you understand, as the judge, I don't have to follow their recommendation or anyone's recommendation,
You
right?
can do whatever you want. I understand that.
I can sentence you to anything up to and including the maximum allowed by law, which in this case would be 364 days in jail, a $5,000 fine, and 2 years of probation. And if I did that, that would not be grounds for you to withdraw your guilty plea. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
I also understand if you are not a citizen of the United States, this plea could have immigration consequences.
Yes.
All right. You understand that Department of Licensing, all right, you understand that because this is an ignition interlock device violation, that this sentence would run consecutively, meaning one after the
Right.
other.
I've been in touch with them quite a bit lately.
All right, very good. And I think that this may also impact how soon you can get the ignition interlock device removed from the vehicle.
It does.
Yeah. So you've gone over all of those consequences with Mr. McMahon, is that correct?
Yes, I have.
And Mr. McMahon, did you discharge your duties pursuant to Padilla and Sandoval?
I did.
Mr. Bain, has anyone made any threats or promises to get you to plead guilty today other than the prosecutor's recommendation that's written in paragraph 6?
No, ma'am.
Are you doing so freely and voluntarily then?
Yes, I am.
Paragraph 11 is a statement in your own words of what you did that makes you guilty of this offense. It reads as follows. On February 12th of 2023 in Bothell, Washington, I drove a motor vehicle not equipped with an ignition interlock device despite a valid DOL requirement that I have one on any vehicle I operate. Is that a true and accurate statement?
Yes, it is. I didn't know I was supposed to have one. I honestly didn't.
That might
But
be
it
a
is
problem.
a true and accurate,
Yes,
well,
it is true. Yes.
and do you adopt that statement as your own?
Yes, I do.
Then to the charge of operating motor vehicle without a functioning ignition interlock device as charged here under this cause number, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, and Ms. Greenwood, do you believe that Mr. Bame's statement that he didn't know he was supposed to have one in any way interferes with the court's ability to accept this plea?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
All right, Mr. McMahon?
It's not an element, Your Honor. I believe that if this case were to go to trial, there's a substantial likelihood that the city would be able to prove notice.
All right. So, Mr. Bame, I am going to accept your plea of guilty. I will find that it's knowingly voluntarily made and that there is a legal and factual basis for accepting the defendant's plea of guilty. Are we ready to proceed to sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So has someone uploaded a sentencing? There it is. Oh, look at that. All right. Ms. Greenwood, does the city have anything to add to its recommendation?
Your Honor, no, this isn't a great recommendation.
I'm resigning.
All
I
right,
don't debate that.
so
It's
would
not
you like
about
to make a
winning.
motion as to count one, perhaps?
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was looking at the court form and was being dazzled by that. Yes, Your Honor, pursuant to this plea agreement, the city is moving to amend count one, driving suspended third.
You're moving to amend or moving to
I'm
dismiss?
sorry, I'm moving to dismiss.
All right, Mr. McMahon.
Your Honor, this is an agreed recommendation. I'd point out that Mr. Bame has had his case, the underlying case closed for some time, over a year at this point. I can see how the situation he's in, the difficulty in getting his license back is likely a financial limitation more than it is a lack of trying or anything like that. For the reason of those mitigating circumstances, including what Mr. Bame represented about him not being clear on his ID status through DOL, I think this is an appropriate resolution. I'd ask that the court would follow it.
All right, did you wish to flesh out the Blazina issues before
I do.
hear?
He's a union laborer. However, he's recently been laid off, and I also know that he has a large amount of outstanding legal financial obligations, including back child support, which is one of the issues preventing him from getting relicensed. I'm based on
No,
those
I don't have
things.
any back child support. My child support.
Didn't you tell me the child support was the reason why you
No,
weren't
that's all cleared. I'm all 100% caught up on that.
Okay, I was unclear on that. I thought you told me that the reason why.
Yeah, no, that's just another payment I have. Oh, sorry about that.
So that's something you're paying on?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So I misunderstood when he told me the child support was an obstacle. I thought he was referring to the licensing obstacle that usually implies back child support. But for the reason he currently has no income, I would ask the court would waive any non-mandatory fines, fees, or obligations.
All right. Mr. Bame, I'll hear from you. Anything that you would like me to take into consideration before I pass sentence?
No, ma'am, I'm just trying to get everything straight. It's a battle, you know.
Yeah.
So
I hear it all the time. The Department of Licensing, especially with the ignition interlock device, can be quite challenging. So I'm glad to hear that you're getting things under control. I do see that there are still a number of outstanding legal.
yeah, I'm telling you, I've gotten a lot of them handled, but there still is a number of them. I know.
Mm-hmm. And if you're, how many kids do you have?
I only have one, but yeah, it's caught up. I'm 100% caught up on my child support.
But it's still an expense. How old is your child?
6. He's me exactly too. It's terrible. I feel sorry for my mom. Like, man.
I understand that. But at 6, that means you're going to be on the hook for child support for quite some time now.
Yeah, but I'm in pretty good with the mom. You know, I'm going to Maui. I'm gonna go out there and help for a couple months now. Because I'm a carpenter.
Okay.
So.
And you plan on leaving the state.
And you're a union carpenter?
I'm a union carpenter, yeah.
Okay, that's great. My dad was IBEW, so
Oh, okay.
I know the fluctuations that go on with that.
Yeah,
So
it's just like get a job and then get laid off. You get going good and everything's going great, and then lay off. Like, oh man, just need a couple more months.
all right. So and then I gather when you said you're going to go to Maui, that's where your ex-wife is living.
No, she's actually, we're in Pasco right now. I'm actually with her here now.
Oh,
But
okay.
I lived on Oahu and in Maui for 18 years, and they had all that stuff going on in Maui, and I'm a carpenter and I have some time off, and
Okay.
she's willing to let me go out there and help out because I can.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Sorry, I was misunderstanding a little bit, but there we go. Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. Anything else you'd like me to take into consideration?
No, ma'am, I'm just really not like to go to jail, to be honest.
Well, I understand, and I'm not sure what's going to happen anywhere else, but what I'm going to do is I am going to follow this recommendation. I'm going to impose 364 days in jail. I will suspend all 364 days. So 0 days to serve, but credit for 0 days served. $5,000 fine. Even though it sounds like you may have future employment abilities right now, you've got a lot on your plate. So I'm just going to waive the entirety of the fine and make a finding that you are currently indigent. And I'm taking what you're saying about going to Maui as your intent to do essentially community service for the community out there, or I don't know, maybe you're getting paid out there, but that's.
I wish I was getting paid out there, but no, it's all just to go help.
That's what I figured you were saying there. So, so I'm not going to consider that as income, and I will I will note that I didn't impose any jail time, but anything that I had would be consecutive to any future or any other commitments associated with this. I'm going to place as conditions. Sorry, I'm still working on the form. You need to make sure that you're on probation for 24 months, and the conditions of probation are going to be that you have no new criminal law violations for which there's probable cause. Keep your address up to date with the court in case we need to get a hold of you. You're not going to drive unless you have a valid license and insurance, and you're not going to operate any motor vehicle unless you have a functioning ignition interlock device, as long as one is required by Department of Licensing. Okay.
Okay.
I think, is that everything? No,
So.
I think I covered everything. So, and whomever prepared this form made it really easy for me.
Me too.
That was me, Art.
Thank you, Mr. McMahon. I'm going to sign this form. I'm going to try to date it. I've had problems dating the forms, so let's.
Do we need to sign first? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it, or does it matter the order?
Usually when I sign, I lock it.
I think so, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and sign as well.
We can sign after she does. We just
We
can't make
can.
any edits to the document after she does.
Okay.
So as soon as you're done, or if you can, there we go. Now I can. Come on, there we go. I just need to be able to date the document, which for some reason it doesn't seem to want to allow me to do.
I think it's likely that once you fix your signature, it's going to autofill that date.
All right. All right. It is correcting me and telling me that I need to fill in a few things. So, all right. Just correcting that, filling in the 24 month jurisdiction on this. So I think that concludes everything. Let's see if it will, now it will let me sign. Okay. All right. So I have signed that document. Good luck to you, Mr. Boehm, and thank you for your willingness to go out and help over in Maui.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care.
Bye.
Weird or
And
nice.
I think you need to stick around just for a moment to make sure we
Oh.
get this form to you, but
Okay.
I also, Mr. Bame, I also just need your authority to sign this on your behalf to indicate that you have been
You have
advised
it.
of contents.
You
And
have
I will
my,
check, if you want, I will also check the box authorizing them to email it to you.
sure.
Dragon Man.
will it allow you to do that now that I've signed, Mr. McMahon?
Yeah, because it's part of the signature block.
Okay.
And that's been done.
Night, Billy.
All right.
No worries.
Very good. All right, Mr. Vane, good luck. Have a
right.
great, take care.
Thank you.
All right, I apologize to everyone who is here for the 2:30 calendar. I think we're ready to proceed on some matters, so I can go through and call the ones I see, or we can have council go ahead and call their cases in the order.
We do have a number of private attorney matters.
Sorry.
Ms. Bertman is here on a change of plea, and then we have a couple of continuances ready as well, depending on how you'd like to do that. Mr. Creamy, Mr. Attorney Alt, and I believe there's another. Oh, Attorney Keating is also here just for short continuances.
Let's do some quick continuances and then do the sentence and then do the plea. And
it looks like Mr. Keating is ready, and that is Mr. Keating. I'm sorry, what is your matter?
It's Mr. Vorobyev.
Thank you.
That's Vorobyev.
all right.
3A0388674.
Yeah, but no swing by like one of the, at least this Wednesday or next Wednesday.
All
What's
right.
that?
And is there a 3.4 waiver on this, or are we expecting your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I have filed a waiver previously with the court on this matter. I did have contact with him. He did give me express authority again to waive today. And we're just doing a little bit more attempt to get this case resolved. So.
All right, Ms. Greenwood, any objection to this continuance?
No, Your Honor.
All right, looks like this is a request to continue the matter to November 20th, making that the new commencement date under the time for trial rule, waiving time for trial through February 18th of 2024, setting the matter into the into the December trial term. So I will accept the waiver of time for trial, grant your request for continuance, set the matter to November 20th at 2:30 by Zoom. And just making sure we have everything that we need. Looks like everything has been checked unless Ms. Greenwood, do you have, oh, there we go. I knew there was something I needed to do. There we go. And hopefully it will autofill the date because it's not allowing me to fill in the date myself. So there we go. So thank you. And hopefully that will be arriving shortly for you.
All right. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Your Honor, when you sign it, it fills in the date.
Thank you. That's good to know.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bye.
Thank you. Mr. Karimi, good afternoon.
Hello, Your Honor. I'm here with my client, Mr. Gunn, Stephen Gunn.
Okay. I do see that I have a motion to continue on that case. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. I wanted to be the first on this zone court. I guess we're third. That's not too bad.
Pretty good. I am still very, very rough on this, but all right. And why are we continuing this case again?
Your Honor, this would be the second continuance that I've been working on with Mr. Gunn. And so I need more time to reach out to the prosecutor with mitigating information, Your Honor, for negotiations.
All right. Ms. Greenwood, any objection to this continuance?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Gunn, I do have a document here titled Motion to Continue Speedy Trial Waiver. Looks like you gave Mr. Karimi permission to mark the signature line for you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you understand by this document, you're asking me to continue your court date today. Is that right?
I understand. Yes, that's correct.
You're asking me to continue it to November 20th, and to do that, you want me to make that the commencement date under the time for trial rule, which would waive time for trial out 90 days past that date to February 18th of 2024. Is that all correct?
Correct.
Anybody make any threats or promises to get you to waive time for trial?
No, ma'am.
All right, I will grant your request for a continuance. I'll set this matter as requested to November 20th at 2:30 in the afternoon, again by Zoom. And your trial date will be in the December trial term, but again, next court date, November 20th, okay?
Good.
All right. We'll see you then. Take care.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
And Your Honor, we do have Attorney Alt that it should also be very quick. That is a informal SOC or long continuance.
Thank you, Counsel. And Your Honor, I have two matters. One of them is a 3.4, and the other one, my client is in the waiting room. So if the court would allow us to call the 3.4 first, this is Mr. Benjamin Ignatovich, cause number 3A0475750.
All right. And I do see that motion to continue. And just go ahead.
I was going to say 3.4, very good contact with Mr. Ignatovich. He's authorized me to appear on his behalf today. The prosecutor and I are discussing this case and anticipate likely being able to move forward to the next hearing one way or the other. We are asking to continue the matter to November 20th, Your Honor, at 1:30. Thank you.
And why are we continuing it again?
Hoping to touch base with the prosecutor. I've reached out and they're reviewing the case. And like I said, in the event the court's willing to continue the matter, we'll be ready to move forward at the next hearing. Trying to avoid setting the matter for trial, but if the court wants us to move forward today, we're certainly willing to.
And this is a DUI, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. There's some additional charges there also.
And Your Honor, that's all correct. We're just trying to get together and find some time to talk about this case, and we do expect, well, hopefully there'll be a resolution.
All right. All right, I will grant one more continuance on this. I see that you've noted it for November 20th by Zoom again at 1:30. Trial in the December trial term, waiver of time for trial through February 18th. I will still working this out here. Come on. I will grant that continuance and set those dates. And we'll see you back here on November 20th, hopefully. Oh, come on. Why isn't it attaching? $2.99. There it is. Okay. Sorry, just really slow. Hopefully we'll see a resolution or at least know where we're going in case.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Very understood. Absolutely. Thank you. I do have one additional matter where my client is in the waiting room, and this is an informal SOC or secret order continuance. If the court would allow to have Mr. Colby Stead allowed into the courtroom, the virtual courtroom.
All right, Mr. Stead, if you can turn on your video and your microphone, please.
Yep. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Sorry.
Good morning. Again, Your Honor, for the record, Robert Alt here on behalf of Mr. Colby Stead, present via Zoom. Your Honor, we have reached an informal resolution with the city in this case. Mr. Stead has authorized a waiver of his right to a jury trial. He and I have discussed that. He's seen the form himself and authorized me to sign it. And with that, we're also asking to continue the case to a non-jury trial. I selected a date of September 11th, 2024 at 8 o'clock, as that was the closest to 12 months for which the court had a available date. During that time, Mr. Stead has
some conditions to comply with. And so that's our request, Your Honor. I believe the city's in agreement.
All right. Mr. Stead, good afternoon again. I do have a document before me entitled a waiver of jury trial. Looks like you gave Mr. Alt permission to sign this on your behalf. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have a chance to read the document before you signed it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or gave permission for it to be signed?
Yes.
You understand that by this document, you're telling me you want to give up your constitutional right to have your case heard by a jury of 6 persons.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that the reason why we have a jury of 6 persons is that all 6 would have to agree before a verdict could be reached.
Yes, Your Honor.
I understand by waiving that right, you're saying one person, a judge or judicial officer like me, would be the one to make that decision. Right?
Yes, I understand.
Which means, of course, that pretty often I agree with myself, right?
I would
All right.
imagine.
Yeah.
All right. But understanding that that is the consequence of waiving your right to jury trial, that is what you would like to do. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anybody make any threats or promises to get you to waive your right to a jury trial?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that if I grant this, you have 10 days from today's date to change your mind for any reason. Just say, I want my right reinstated.
Yes, Your Honor.
But after 10 days, it would be up to the court to make a finding of good cause before we would, before you could have that right reinstated. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You still wish me to go forward, waiving your right to a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then I will accept the waiver of jury trial and attach my signature to that. All right, now we have another form to go over. We have a waiver of time for trial. Give me motion to continue and waiver. It says speedy trial waiver, which just I need to talk with Judge Walden about her terminology in these forms that she created, because there are 2 different things, but that's okay. I do have that document, and it looks again like you gave Mr. Alt permission to sign on your behalf. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand by this document, you're asking me to continue your court date today. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
To do that, you are indicating you want me to continue it to September 11th of 2024. And by doing that, you would waive your right, or you would waive time for trial. Because you would make September 11th the commencement date. Time for trial would then be waived out to December 10th of 2024. Is that what you wanted to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone made any threats or promises to get you to do that?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Greenwood, you are in agreement with this continuance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then I will accept the waiver of time for trial, grant the request for a continuance, set the matter as requested all the way out to September 11th. It says this is a very long continuance to a stipulated bench trial. So, I need to click this too, indicating I've granted it. Will it allow me to?
People talk their way through computer programs. Click this now.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, counsel. What I just did erased the signatures, so you're going to need to go back in and sign again.
No worries at all, Your Honor. Look at that.
And you also, Ms. Greenwood. So, but I had, and I'm learning. I need to click granted before I sign. All right. So, Mr. Stead, this is a long continuance. I understand that there are going to be some things that the city wants you to do, but at the end of it, if everything's done properly, the case will be dismissed. If not, then I will review the police reports and make a determination as to whether or not you committed the offense, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and I will see you again on September 11th of 2024.
And Your Honor, I would just note, Your Honor, I don't believe I can go ahead and sign the form since you've signed them. I mean, we're okay with not signing it again, but this is the motion to continue.
I think you are allowed to sign
Okay.
after me. It's that you can't edit the form after
No, I think
And
you're
editing it
absolutely
is
correct.
the
I stand
signature.
corrected, Your Honor. I'll sign that and click
Okay.
save on that. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Cancel. You can get off
Who
now, Colby. I'll
doesn't
send
love
you an
the
email.
Goo
All right, sounds good.
That's
Thank you.
not the 80s, that was the 90s and
All right.
2000s.
And Mr. Pickrell is here.
A quick motion to continue on Mr. Pickrell's matter. This is cause number 3A045467. This is just a defense motion for one last continuance. I think we're very close to a resolution. He has a little bit of information kind of updated. He was in a residential program. He's now in a different program. And so I need that updated information to provide to the city. I will reach out to Mr. Lohr once I receive that.
Hi, Miss Crystal Fullaway. How are you doing, my dear? Hope you are doing well tonight. What did you have for dinner? If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had. We've been thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. We had some pretty good TV shows earlier tonight. We're just finishing off the evening with a little bit of Bond court or first appearances, I suppose, or I don't know, whatever this Bothell court is doing. Oh my God. But we're glad that you're here. Make sure that you hit that like button. I know you're subscribed. I don't even need to tell you about that.
But we did exchange and confirm all updated contact information. So we should be able to facilitate that fairly quickly. So I'm hoping we should be able to have a disposition on that next date. And that is a Zoom appearance. Your Honor, Mr. Pickrell's living over in the Bremerton area and working over there. And so he's able to appear. He has been able to appear on time for all of his hearings since you did release him. So I know he makes it a point to make sure that he does that as he promised.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Pickrell. If you want to go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Unmuted. Oh, he's still muted though. He can't
Oops,
figure it out.
nope, you turned off your video that time.
Is that better?
Yeah, now we got everything
Okay.
going. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a motion to continue waiver or speedy trial waiver here. Looks like you gave Ms. Pimentel permission to sign it on your behalf. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And you understand by this document, you're asking me to continue your case one more time. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
To do that, you've indicated you want me to set your next court date of November 27th as the commencement date under the time for trial rule, making the last allowable day to bring you to trial, February 25th of 2024. Is that what you wanted to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone made any threats or promises to get you to waive time for trial?
No.
All right. Ms. Greenwood, any objection to this continuance?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I will accept the waiver of time for trial. I will grant your request for a continuance. We'll set this matter as requested to the November 27th Zoom calendar at 1:30. Trial will be in the January trial term now. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we'll see you then. Take care.
All right, you too.
And I believe that leaves the Minnesota matter. Thank you, Ms. Bergman, for being patient, especially given that I'm very new at Oak Court.
Is that guy an Illuminati symbol behind it at his head? I do love that you all work double shifts when you need to. Appreciate it. Jay from Michigan, I love your comment, but it is somewhat ambiguous and hard for me to pin down what you're talking about when you say, I like the tough cases he had on a while back. Funny. A while back tonight, a while back this month, this channel, you know what I mean? And it's only asked because I would love to try and replicate if you think things are funny, but a while back could hang a lot to this little lady right here.
All right. And I could not hear you if you said anything then.
I apologize, Your Honor. I was having some issues with my headphones. Can the court hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
And
All right. Go ahead.
For the record, Your Honor, Nadine Bertman on behalf of Mr. Mirasola, and we're both appearing via Zoom this afternoon. It's on both cause numbers 3A0344166 and then also 3A0366809. And we do have a proposed resolution for the court.
Ms. Greenwood?
And yes, Your Honor, the city is going to be moving to dismiss the charge itself for assault 43 under 3A0344166 upon the plea to the protection order violation under 3A0366809.
Okay.
I was back and Streamlabs working, so I get
I do
my
have a
friends.
plea form under the cause number 3A0366809. Ms. Bertman?
Thank you, Your Honor. And just for the record, Mr. Mirasola and myself have gone through that statement
Oh.
of defendant on plea of guilty in its entirety. We
I-
went through the
I-
underlying charge,
I
the
thought
elements of that
off
charge,
the,
the constitutional rights given up
page.
as a result of entering a guilty plea. We also went through maximum penalties allowed by law and any collateral consequences as a result of a guilty plea. We also did go through the agreed recommendation, the fact that that's simply an agreed recommendation and Your Honor has the authority to sentence up to the maximum allowed by law. He also had an opportunity to review this on his own. He did indicate that he is ready to proceed today and would be doing so knowingly and voluntarily. And we also did go through any immigration consequences, and I have satisfied my obligations.
Yeah. Mr. Mirasola, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
I have a document before me entitled Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty. And it looks like you gave Ms. Bertman permission to sign this document. Actually, it doesn't look like you've signed it on his behalf, Ms. Bertman.
Dante, is it okay if I put a little X on there for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. I'll add that now, Your Honor. I apologize.
That's okay.
Thank you as always, Molly. I appreciate you and your love for me.
Thank you. All right, so it does look like now that it does have your signature on it, and I just heard you give Ms. Bertman permission to do that. Did you have an opportunity to read or have read to you this entire document prior to deciding to enter into this plea?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you have a chance to go over it in its entirety with Ms. Bertman?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was she able to answer any questions that you had about it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about the document?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we're gonna go over this together, starting on page 1, paragraph 1. Is Dante Edward Mirasola your true name?
Yes.
Are you 24 years old?
Yes.
Highest level of education you've completed is the 12th grade. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Under this cause number, you are charged with 1 count of a protection order violation, domestic violence, meaning that it was committed against, I believe in this case, an intimate partner. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Not fucking cool.
The elements of this crime were set forth in the charging document that you received. Did you understand that those elements are what would need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you go through those elements carefully to make sure that they accurately describe the crime you intend to plead guilty to today?
Yes.
Paragraph 5 sets forth the constitutional rights that you give up by pleading guilty. They include the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury in the county where the crime was alleged to have been committed, the right to remain silent before and during trial and to refuse to testify against yourself, the right at trial to hear and question any witnesses who would testify against you. You also have the right at trial to testify and to have witnesses testify for you. Those witnesses could be made to appear at no expense to you. You also have the right to the presumption of innocence. It requires that a charge be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt.
Melanie, you're gonna have to tell us how old you are for us to have any guess of what this show is that you're looking for. That's the legit truth.
Could enter against you, and you have a right to appeal that finding of guilt after trial. To understand that these are your constitutional rights and that by pleading guilty today, you will be giving them up in this case.
Yes, I understand.
Paragraph 6 sets forth the consequences of your plea. Did you go through those carefully?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you make sure that the prosecutor's recommendation that's written in there in paragraph 6A1, that it accurately reflects what they said they were going to recommend pursuant to the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you understand as the judge, I don't have to follow their recommendation or anyone's recommendation.
Yes, I understand.
I could sentence you to anything up to and including the maximum allowed by law, which in this case would be 364 days in jail, a $5,000 fine, and 5 years of probation. And if I did that, that would not be grounds for you to withdraw your guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I also understand if you are not a citizen of the United States, this plea could have immigration consequences.
Yes. Yes, I understand.
That you also understand that there's a mandatory minimum financial penalty that I must impose of $15. And that
For what?
Based on this conviction, you will lose your right to own, possess, or have under your control any firearms under state law or firearms or ammunition under federal law, unless or until your right to do so has been restored by a court of record. Do you understand that?
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay, we
Has
got another
anyone
high
made any threats or promises to get you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
I should say, other than the recommendation from the city that is written in the paperwork.
No, Your Honor.
Are you doing so freely and voluntarily then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Paragraph 11 is a statement in your own words of what you did that makes you guilty of this offense. It reads as follows. On June 27th of 2023 in Bothell, Washington, I knowingly went within 1,000 feet of the protected party of a valid no contact order in which I was the restrained party. The crime was committed against an intimate partner. You've also indicated that the court may review the statement of probable cause supplied by the prosecutor to establish a factual basis for the plea, and that the intimate partner is Avery D. Olson. Is that all correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, I apologize. I tried to uncheck the no statement made box and it kept repopulating it, but we are using the statement of facts that are issued there in the document.
I think it's because you filled in the name of the intimate partner down there instead of up above where you marked. I think that's probably why. Do you want to make that edit before I sign?
Thank you, Your Honor. I just made that change.
All right, there we go. So, Mr. Marisola, the change here, and I'm just going to go over it really quickly with you, is that it no longer says that the court will review the statement of probable cause. It's simply your statement and that it was committed against an intimate partner, Avery Olson. Okay.
Understood. Yeah, thank you.
Is that a true and accurate statement then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you adopt that statement as your own?
Yes.
Then to the charge of violation of a protection order, domestic violence is committed against an intimate partner, Avery Olson. How do you plead?
I plead guilty.
I should say as charged here under this cause number. So, but a guilty plea will enter. I find it's knowingly voluntarily made and that there is a legal and factual basis for accepting the defendant's plea of guilty.
Again, folks,
I'm adding my signature, which will create all kinds of hate and discontent if we're not ready. All right. So does the city are we proceeding to sentencing today?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
All right. Does the city have anything to add to its recommendation?
No, Your Honor, just that I previously indicated to the court that the city is moving to dismiss the assault charge under 380344166. It is an agreed recommendation.
All right, so I will grant city's motion to dismiss the assault case. Because that case had the no contact order with it, that no contact order will be rescinded. I do see that there is a request for a no contact order in this case as well. So we'll proceed to sentencing at this time. Ms. Bertman.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is an agreed recommendation. Defense is also asking that the court follow it. Mr. Marisol is 24 years old. Other than these two cases, he has absolutely no prior criminal history. He's born and raised in the area. He's employed. He has a strong support network. He has been incredibly proactive about identifying issues that led for him to be before Your Honor. He was very proactive with engaging with treatment. He recognized that substance abuse was definitely an issue for him. He did complete a substance use disorder evaluation and successfully completed the 12-week intensive outpatient program. We have filed those with the court. Additionally, he has started the domestic violence MRT treatment. He's a little over halfway done with that program at this time. He's really enjoying it, says he's learning a lot through the program. And he's also recently engaged with individual counseling. So he's working with a personal counselor as well.
Court counseling and therapy. I think.
Well, and then he also has the domestic violence victims impact panel scheduled for October 22nd. So he's always taken this incredibly seriously, and he's always sought out treatment services and recognizes that something needs to change and he needs to learn some tools and resources. Incredibly motivated. It's been a pleasure to work with him. He's taking responsibility for his actions today, and I do believe that this is a fair resolution given his lack of history.
All right. Mr. Marisola, this is your opportunity to tell me anything that you would like me to take into consideration before I pass sentence.
Yeah, I just like to say I feel throughout this whole process and throughout both my substance abuse treatment and the current DV MRT that I'm going through, I feel like I've learned a lot and there's been a lot of growth, and I'm looking forward to getting past this and continuing to grow and move forward.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Counsel, because I'm not particularly well skilled in O courts, I'm going to probably need a little bit of assistance as I go through this, but making sure that I get everything that I need to talk about. So first off, Mr. Marisola, I am going to follow this recommendation. I'm going to impose 364 days in jail. I will suspend 364 of those days. So no jail time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
$5,000 fine. I will suspend. Was it a recommendation to suspend the entirety of the fine?
It was, Your Honor.
All right. So I will do so.
Thank you.
Was there a request for any electronic home monitoring or other form of jail alternative? I don't believe so.
There wasn't, Your Honor, and he's been on pretrial electronic home monitoring.
All right. So now going down to the legal financial obligations. Looks like, and I'm just trying to find the correct one. Looks like the $30.75 for the protection order violation. I think the plea paperwork was incorrect in the $15. I think that was the old amount. It's now $30.75. So I am going to impose that. Are there any other fines or fees requested?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
And I'm going to require that he pay his probation. And the $100 domestic violence assessment. it shows here that 21 hours of community service may be done in lieu of the legal financial obligations at this point in time. If that's how you can do it either way, but you may do community service if you wish. Or you can make payments.
Gotcha. Understood.
I just want to make sure, I think. Sorry, this is one of my first times filling out the form, and I want to make sure I click everything that I'm supposed to, because once I sign it, then everything gets very confusing. Okay. Greenwood, what were the affirmative conditions of release that you wanted me to impose?
And Your Honor, and I'm sorry, I'm going back to the email between Mr. Lore and Ms. Bertman. First of all, it does appear that there is a post-conviction NCO. So if I could just have a moment, or perhaps Ms. Bertman can fill us in, but I was looking into that NCO, so I just wanted to make sure that we didn't overlook that.
That's correct, Your Honor, and there's one uploaded, or proposed order uploaded in court.
Okay.
And then otherwise, we have, let's see, alcohol drug evaluation and follow-up. Looks like that's been accomplished. DVMRT, DV victims panel, new NCO, 5 years probation.
Hold on, slow down, counsel.
Oh, so sorry, Your Honor. I think we've addressed alcohol drug evaluation and follow-up treatment.
All right, but that's been completed.
DVMRT, Your Honor.
So I'm just going to say, so DV victim panel, where's DVMRT?
And it looks like EHM is to be terminated. And I think that's all. Maybe Ms. Bertman, if you're in agreement, I don't see anything else.
Yes, that sounds correct. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ms. Bertman, I think you are more familiar with this form than I am. Is DVMRT actually a checkbox, or do I need to type that in under other?
Usually it needs to be typed in.
All right. All right, and I would like to see the DV victim panel and DVMRT completed, or you're already in DVMRT, is that correct?
I have 3 more sessions left actually of a 6-month program. So I will be done October 28th with that. And then I have the victims panel planned scheduled for October 22nd.
If I say to provide proof to the court within 60 days of today's date, sounds like you'd be able to do that. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Don't wait till the last day. Something goes wrong anytime you do that. All right.
We'll have that in.
Tell me about it, Judge. Is that coming better, Jonathan or Mike? Thank you, boys, for your help. I think it probably should be. I unplugged it and replugged it back in. Oh, look at James. We caught him yawning. And that Nadine, the lawyer, she looks quite happy. Oh, hello, I'm a lawyer named Nadine. Anyways, if the mic's not working, yeah, it's working now. Anyways, let's continue to watch the thank you, Jonathan.
All right. Now. And also same thing for the victims panel will be within 60 days as well. Okay. All right, and I need to notify you that count one. Oh no, that's not right. Sorry, checked the wrong box there.
As usual, fucking it up, Judge. Thank you so fucking much. Seriously, a fucking waste of space. I didn't mean.
So there's a CPL revocation and loss of right to possess firearm, but it doesn't look like any of the boxes that are checked that I can check there apply. But I will advise you that as a result of this conviction, as I just told you earlier, but I'm telling you again, you've lost your right to own, possess, or have under your control any firearm under state law or firearm or ammunition under federal law unless or until your right to do so has been restored by a court of record. All right. So, and that information should be sent to Department of Licensing. So under the current statute. So I'm not sure why that's not in the form yet. All right. So hang on with me as I go through this one more time. I'm going to place some other conditions on you. You must keep your address up to date with the court. Because if I think anything's gone wrong, I'm going to send you a summons. If you don't get the summons, I'll issue a warrant for your arrest. So you want to be sure you get that summons. So make sure you have your current address up to date with the court. You'll have no new criminal law violations for which there is probable cause. And you will abide by the no contact order, which I will issue as part of this case. Part of the no contact order I need to go over with you again. No contact means exactly what it says, not in person, not by phone, not by text, chats, emails, social media, asking someone else to contact on your behalf. No contact really does mean no contact. Any violation of the order is a new criminal law violation. It is a gross misdemeanor unless or until you have 2 prior convictions, in which case it becomes an automatic felony. An assault in violation of the order is an automatic felony. We do take our orders seriously. We judges do. It is my order, not Miss Avery's, so you need to understand she cannot give you permission to violate the order. And I do take it very seriously, so please take it seriously also, okay?
I do take it very seriously, which is why I just gave you 0 days in jail for breaking the order beforehand. Come on, Judge. Fucking make sense. Make it make sense. Give him a fucking week in jail immediately for breaking a TPO. I think that should be an automatic week in jail. Just to start. First time, week. Second time, month. Third time, year.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. And I'm just trying to find. Again, sorry that this is taking so long. You're kind of going through this with me as I learn what I'm doing. There should be a box here about have no abide by no contact orders, but I'm not seeing that, so I'm going to put it in other as well.
Your Honor, I do see under conditions, there is abide by all prohibitive court orders, and there is a checkbox for NCO. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
It's about midway down under the conditions.
Control
Oh, there
F,
it is.
ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
Control F.
Okay.
Just type in and so.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Right. Anything else? Council, you're looking, you can, I've made, is that correct? I'm going to save right now before I sign. Oops, it says, aha, there we go. I always forget that one. All right. Before I sign, I'm going to save that so that you can look at it and make sure that I've covered everything. And then, sorry, Mr. Marisola, we're going to go over a couple more documents once I'm done with this one, so bear with me.
Oh, no worries, Your Honor.
No worries. She's not home right now, Your Honor. I can't even get her. I tried. Also, hi, each and everything.
Oops, I see one I need to click. Do not possess or own a firearm. And you must immediately surrender any firearms if you do have any. There we go. I got that one. Was there a request that he not possess, consume, or have under his control any non-prescribed drugs?
That wasn't contemplated as part of the agreed recommendation, Your Honor.
Okay.
Given status and treatment. And then if we could just ask, he does have a bond posted on this case. If we could ask that that be exonerated today as well.
All right. And is there a box on this form that I do for that, or is that a different?
It's hidden really far at the bottom, right under the order appointing counsel.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Any objection to my exonerating bond?
Not at all, Your Honor.
All right, so I will exonerate bond. All right.
I object.
So I've clicked those. Anything else?
Looks good to defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Greenwood, are you fine?
Yeah, I don't see anything else either.
All right.
Stephen,
so I'm going to go ahead and sign this, and that will lock it. So there you go. Hang on, before I do that, and okay. And then you can sign, it just locks everything else. Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Marisola, I'm going to ask if you are going to grant Ms. Bertman permission to electronically sign the judgment and sentence on your behalf.
Yes, she can.
All right. I should have asked, do you have any questions about what has been sentenced, especially since it kind of took us a bit to get through it?
No, Your Honor. I think I understand.
All right. Then I'm going to go back out here. And I'm going to go to the no contact order. We've talked about this a little bit, but I'm going to go over this with you as well.
Thank you, each and everything. I think this tank top is serving
And I'm
very
just
well.
going to say that this is a, as I said, a no contact order. I am prohibiting you from contacting, do not attempt or threaten to cause bodily harm, injury, assault, sexually assault, harass, stalk, or keep under surveillance the protected party. Do not contact the protected party. Directly, indirectly, in person, or through others by phone, mail, electronic means, except for the mailing or service of process for court documents through a third party or by your attorney. All right. Do not knowingly come within 1,000 feet of the protected party's person, residence, school, workplace, vehicle. All right.
Understood.
You must, if you encounter the protected party in a public location, it is your responsibility to leave, not the protected party, okay?
Understood, Your Honor.
As a result of this, again, I need to notify you again that you may not own, possess, or have under your control any firearms. You may not access or have custody, control over, purchase, retrieve, attempt to purchase, or receive or possess a firearm, other dangerous weapon, or concealed pistol license. You must immediately surrender all firearms and other dangerous weapons within your possession or control, and any concealed pistol license, if you have one, to the Bothell Police Department. You must comply with the order to surrender and any prohibited weapons. All right.
Understood.
This is a 5-year order. It will not expire until 5 years from today's date. Do you understand that?
Understood, Your Honor.
And I just need to make sure you understand, because we just went over a seminar on this. When the no contact order is lifted, it does not reinstate your right to a firearm. You must separately apply for, with a court of record, the reinstatement of that right. Okay?
Understood, Your Honor. Me and my attorney went over that as well.
Okay. Okay. This is a relationship with an intimate partner, and all right. Do you need a civil standby?
I don't think so at this time.
You don't have any belongings that you need to be able to access?
I have like all my clothes and stuff. It'd be like big furniture stuff, but I know that that's not generally something that we handle with civil standbys. So
No. All right. And with regard to service.
Oh, she served.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, Ms. Bertman.
Your Honor.
You're is being advised in open court, but is he accepting service by email?
Yes, Your Honor, and I will download a signed copy after the hearing and make sure that that's forwarded to him, and I'll go through that order with him as well.
All right. And I'm just trying to see here. I'm going to click then served on defendant. All right, or you can do that, I guess. All right. I think that concludes this one. Ms. Greenwood, anything you think that I need to go over on this? All right, and I'm just going to attach my signature.
And if we could just make sure the dismissal order on the other case is signed, but other than that, I believe everything's been satisfied.
All right, I need to make sure that there is a declaration of non-surrender. Is that what your client wishes to complete? Because that is available as well.
Yes.
And he's already signed, he's printed his name there. So he'll need to sign that, or ask, I guess, Mr. Marshall, are you requesting that Ms. Bertman sign that on your behalf at this time?
Yes, she can sign that on my behalf.
All right. That does not require my signature, so I'm going to go back here. And then as far as the order of dismissal, sorry, we're getting there.
Who said that they needed to match?
The city has moved to dismiss the charge of assault in the 4th degree under cause number 3A0344166. Which is assault in the 4th degree domestic violence. Is that correct?
Yep.
And is that a dismissal with or without prejudice?
It's with prejudice, Your Honor. I think Ms. Greenwood's muted.
All right.
Thank you. I agree.
All right, I will check the box that it is with prejudice. I do know that there's case law that says if it happened before jeopardy attached, that checking that box is essentially irrelevant, but for all intents and purposes, I think that's what was intended
You mean
here.
before
And
7:30
again,
in
any
jeopardy?
bond that was posted will be exonerated. And I believe that's everything on this. So I'm going to go ahead and add my signature. All right, Mr. Marisela, thank you for patiently working your way through that form with me. I
Thank you
believe
for
that
violating the
that concludes
TPO.
your matters. So good
Thank
luck.
you.
There. No offense, I don't want to see you again, so get everything done, okay?
I'll get everything taken care of, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Clinton, Your Honor.
All right, this was on to quash a warrant.
That's correct, Your Honor. Mr. Clinton originally had a warrant quashing. Was resummoned to September 21st. He was in Denver attending his son's wedding. He stayed until the 21st. He had his dates mixed up. He thought it was the following date after his return back. The docket does reflect that shortly after he returned and found out the issue that he did show up to the court and file this paperwork asking to have the warrant quashed. He did also show up to the municipal court in person, so I saw him on the video in the lobby because he thought that's what he was required to do. I think he's demonstrating with his actions he intends to follow this process through. I understand this is a bit of an older case. There is a likely resolution possible here, but we don't have enough. We don't have the ability to discuss that effectively right now. For that reason, we're asking the bench warrant be quashed and be reset in regular course. I understand it's likely the court would require no further continuances past that.
Ms. Greenwood, what is your position?
The city has no objection to quashing this warrant.
All right, I will grant the request to quash the warrant, Mr. Clinton. Oh, all right. Set this to pretrial on what do you say, November 9th in person, Madam Clerk? Oops, sorry, it looks like you've given me that. Will November 9th work, or are we full on November 9th? Give me just a moment. I think I can find that out. All right, I'm going to set this to 2:30 on November 9th. In person at the Buffalo Municipal Court, Mr. Clinton. I am going to require that you appear.
I would like you to appear not in a hat, though, sir.
All right, so that's on the warrant recall, and then sorry, Mr. Clinton, it takes a little bit of time for me to get these forms because I'm still fairly new at it.
Well, we know that you've been talking all fun day. Creed will be back tomorrow morning, I believe, for court. So in fact, we may see a case we saw tonight, but we know Mikey and Creed will do it justice in a different way than I did it for sure. So we'll see. God, this is Judge Humphrey tonight too, huh? Mm-hmm.
Previously set conditions are reinstated. And I think the only thing I need to do is set the trial date.
And Your Honor, included in those previous conditions were not to return to the Home Depot. I don't know if we need to put that in here as well.
I can add
Home
that in just to emphasize it.
All right, thank you.
The goddamn Home Depot, what? They better make a big donation.
Okay.
What's Home Depot slogan?
All right. So, Mr. Clinton, if you can go ahead and unmute your microphone, please.
Okay.
And I have completed an order setting your next court date to November 9th at 2:30 in the afternoon. Where's the trial date? Because today is the new commencement date, the last allowable day or 90th day is set for January 7th of 2024.
Also, guys, we hit 350 subscribers. We're just 150 away.
Your trial will be scheduled in the December trial term, although I don't see where I get to fill that in here. Sorry, Mr. McMahon, I don't know if you can see where that goes.
Which form are you working on currently, Your Honor?
The pretrial release form.
I don't see anywhere for it either.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there is one.
All right, so I am orally.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say it's not one that's common to some of the other courts. Maybe it's something the court needs to ask them to add in for your version.
All right.
What?
In the meantime,
what is she learning about here? That's what's perplexing to me. Like, what is she taking the time to, like, why didn't it teach any of this shit beforehand? Why are they doing that all now? I have questions. I have multiple questions. Let's put it that way. Now, just a titch more court after this because I just can't give up. I love it so much, and I love you all so much. So let's finish it off, and then we will do our last clip of the evening, and then head to Betty Buys so that tomorrow I can be here.
Mr. Clinton, I am going to indicate that that I am scheduling your trial in the December trial term.
You could also type it into one of the boxes marked other as well.
That's what I'm going to do, actually. Thank you, Mr. McMahon.
Luckily, not my crotch, Liam.
All right. So Your previously set conditions are reinstated. I've quashed the warrant against you. Your next pretrial is scheduled, your next court date is November 9th. I am requiring that you must appear. Do you give Mr. McMahon permission to electronically sign this document on your behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. McMahon, there's also an
Yep, defendant's the one in the hat, William. Who'd have guessed it?
opportunity that if Mr. Clinton wishes, he could have this served by email. Mr. Clinton, I guess I should ask you, do you want Mr. McMahon to indicate an email address and that you wish to have that service, or do you want it mailed to you instead?
It can be mailed to me. That's fine. Thank you.
Mhm. All right. So with that, I believe that will conclude this matter. Mr. Clinton, we'll see you on November 9th. Get a hold of your attorney before then, because you want to know what's going to be happening on that date. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. I think that concludes everybody who appeared. Is that correct?
I believe so. I think Ms. Pimentel wanted me to address Shem Ripley's matter.
All right.
Night, Melanie.
That service, or do you want it mailed to you instead?
It can be mailed to me. That's fine. Thank you.
Mhm. All right. So with that, I believe that will conclude this matter.
Fingers crossed without my Larry that this works. It didn't. Fuck. God damn it. Hold on, I gotta pause it. Ah! She's done most slots. Yeah, I get that. She's not going anywhere. Fuck. Give me a second while I pause it.
Carolina, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. People in the courtroom, can you all hear me okay?
Los que están en la sala, ¿me pueden escuchar?
Sal, am I coming through clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right.
¿Sí me oyen claramente?
All right. My name is Judge Myerson. I'm a magistrate here in Travis County, Texas.
Mi nombre es el juez Myerson. Soy magistrada aquí en el condado de Travis, Texas.
The reason all of you are in front of me is that all of you are charged with either Class A or B misdemeanors or felonies for which, if you were to be convicted, you could go to jail or prison for a long time.
El motivo por el cual están ante mí es porque todos se enfrentan ya sea un delito menor de clasificación A o B o delito grave, que si se le condenara pudiera pasar mucho tiempo recluido en cárcel o prisión.
You are in front of me so that I can advise you what you're charged with, tell you what your rights are and what your bail is set at.
Están ante mí para que yo simplemente acusado de este delito. Yo no tengo la menor idea si sea culpable o no lo sea, ni voy a ser el juez que lo va a determinar. Simplemente estoy para informarle los cargos que enfrenta, los derechos que tiene y en cuanto se ha fijado su fianza y tomar cualquier pregunta que tenga después. Your Honor, we can't hear you.
At this stage, you are charged by way of what is known as a
Let's
sworn
hoot us out of
complaint
it.
or a sworn affidavit. That means somebody, and it's usually a police officer, has sworn out an affidavit under oath stating what they believe to be facts. It would make someone think that you might have committed a criminal offense, and that's what's holding you here.
En esta etapa, usted está acusado por medio de una denuncia bajo juramento. Ahora, alguien ha hecho esta denuncia, usualmente es un agente del orden público que bajo juramento afirma lo que cree que son los hechos. Entonces, con esto se cree que usted haya cometido este delito y esto es lo que ahora lo tiene detenido en la cárcel.
I will tell you that even though you're simply charged with an offense, if you're charged with a Class B misdemeanor and convicted, you could go to jail for up to 6 months. If you're charged with a Class A misdemeanor and convicted, you could go to jail for up to a year. If you're charged with a state jail felony and convicted, you could go to jail for up to 2 years. If you're charged with a third-degree felony and convicted, you could go to prison for up to 10 years. If you're charged with a second-degree felony and convicted, you could go to prison for up to 20 years. And if you were charged with a first-degree felony and convicted, you could go to prison for the rest of your life. Carolina, here's a B's and A's.
Thank you. Y voy a decirles que por lo pronto están simplemente acusados de un delito. Pero si se le condenara, por ejemplo, de un delito menor de clasificación B, pudiera pasar hasta 6 meses en la cárcel. Si se le condenara de un delito menor de clasificación A, pudiera pasar hasta 1 año en la cárcel. Y nadie tiene delitos más graves que estos, de los de español.
In a moment, I'm going to go over your rights with you. After I'm done going over your rights, I will call you out by name. I'll tell you what you're charged with and what your bail is set at.
En breve voy a dar la lectura de derechos. Después de hacerlo, voy a llamar a cada persona individualmente por nombre. Le haré saber el cargo que enfrenta y en cuánto se le ha fijado su fianza.
Your bail is not a fine, nor is it a punishment. Your bail represents the amount of money you're going to have to come up with in order to get temporarily released from jail while your case is still pending in court. If you're able to get out of jail on bail, you've got to show back up in court every time you're directed to. If you do, you'll get your money back when the case is over with in court. If you get out of jail on bail and you don't show back up in court as directed, you will be rearrested. The money that was put up will be forfeited, and you'll be additionally charged with bail jumping.
Ahora, la fianza no es un castigo ni es una multa, sino que representa una cantidad de dinero que tendría que depositarse para que pueda ser liberado temporalmente de la cárcel mientras que su caso sigue pendiente en el juzgado para procesarse. Si lograra salir de la cárcel bajo fianza, debe volver a comparecer en el juzgado a cada una de sus citas como le indiquen. Si lo hace, el dinero de la fianza que pagó se le puede reembolsar cuando se haya terminado de procesar su caso. Pero si logra salir de la cárcel bajo fianza y no vuelve a comparecer a todas sus citas, como se le indique, lo van a volver a detener. El dinero que pagó de fianza lo perderá y le van a fincar un cargo de que se fugó bajo fianza.
Listen carefully. There are only 4 ways you can get out of jail on bail. I'm going to go over the 4 ways with you right now. If you don't make it out of one of these ways, you will remain in jail at least until your case is over with in court, if not longer.
Ahora escuche con atención. Únicamente hay 4 formas para salir bajo fianza. Voy a repasar estas 4 formas con ustedes ahora mismo. Si no lograra salir de una de estas formas, permanecerá en la cárcel hasta que su caso se haya solucionado o quizá más tiempo.
Number 1, if you or friends or family have the total amount of money to put up for bail, it can be placed at the jail hearing. You'll be released within a few hours after the money's put up. Just make sure you're back in court as directed so you don't lose that money and get rearrested.
Número 1, si usted o sus familiares o sus amistades tienen todo el dinero de la fianza, pueden venir aquí mismo y pagar el dinero y podrá ser liberado dentro de unas horas después de que lo hayan depositado. Solo asegúrese de volver a comparecer a todas sus citas en el juzgado como se le indique, porque si no lo hace, lo van a volver a arrestar y perdería el dinero que haya pagado.
Or two, if you cannot afford your bail, you might be able to get some help getting out by hiring a bail bondsman. A bail bondsman will typically charge 10 to 15% of whatever your bail is set at, and they will normally charge a minimum of $300 to $400 no matter how low your bail is set. Any money you pay to a bail bondsman is theirs to keep. That's how they make their living. You still must show backup in court as directed, or else you will find yourself back in jail.
Ahora, número 2, si no tiene los recursos para pagar toda la fianza en efectivo, puede conseguir la ayuda de una agencia de fianzas. El fiancista típicamente le cobrará entre 10% a 15% del monto de la fianza y normalmente tienen una cantidad mínima que le cobran, ya sea de $300 a $400, sobre todo si su fianza se le ha fijado en una cantidad baja. Cualquier dinero que le pague al fiancista, ellos se van a quedar con ese dinero, es lo que cobran por sus servicios. Usted solo recuerde volver a comparecer en el juzgado como se le indique, porque si no se va a volver a encontrar en la cárcel.
Third way of getting released from jail is if you get approved for what's called a personal bond or personal recognizance. If you're approved for a personal bond, you can get released without having to put any money out. If you do get out on a personal bond, take it real seriously, because if you don't show back up in court as directed, you will be rearrested. You will have to come up with and lose the money you did not have to put up in the first place, and you'll find it difficult getting out of jail again.
La tercera forma para ser liberado es que puede ser aprobado para lo que se conoce como una fianza de palabra de honor. Si le aprueban para la fianza de palabra de honor, puede ser liberado bajo palabra sin necesidad de tener que pagar el dinero de la fianza. Pero si la recibe, tómelo muy seriamente y vuelva a comparecer cada vez que se le indique a sus citatorios, porque si no lo hace, entonces lo van a volver a arrestar, le van a exigir que pague el dinero que no tuvo que pagar al principio y luego será más difícil que pueda volver a salir de nuevo.
Fourth way of getting released from jail is by talking to your attorney. It is not a guarantee, but in some circumstances, an attorney can help you get out of jail on a personal bond where you otherwise would not qualify.
Y la cuarta forma para salir es que puede conseguir abogado, consultar con el abogado, porque en algunas circunstancias el abogado puede ayudarle a recibir esa fianza de palabra de honor si es que se la negaron cuando la solicitó por su cuenta.
If you don't get released from jail while your case is pending in court by one of the 4 ways that I just went over with you, you will remain in jail at least until your case is over with in court, if not longer.
Si no lograra salir de la cárcel de una de las 4 formas que acabo de repasar con ustedes, permanecerá en la cárcel hasta que su caso se haya terminado de procesar en el juzgado o quizá más tiempo.
I'm going to go over your rights with you right now. Listen to them carefully. These rights are important to you. They're for your benefit. You can use them at any time. When I'm done going over your rights, I will call you out by name. I'll tell you what you're charged with and what your bail is set at. I will also ask you if you understood your rights. If you did not, let me know and I'll re-explain them. If you have any other questions, ask me at the time I'm talking directly with you.
Bien, ahora voy a dar la lectura de derechos. Escuche con atención porque estos derechos son importantes para usted y son para su beneficio y los puede ejercer en cualquier momento. Cuando termine con la lectura de derechos, voy a llamar a cada persona individualmente por nombre, le haré saber el cargo que enfrenta y en cuánto se le ha fijado su fianza y le voy a preguntar si entendió sus derechos. Si no los entendió, hágame saberlo para volvérselos a explicar. Y si tiene cualquier pregunta, puede hacerla cuando yo hable directamente con usted.
You have the right to remain silent.
Tiene el derecho de guardar silencio.
You're not required to make a statement.
No se requiere que haga declaración alguna.
Any statement you do make may be used in evidence against you.
Cualquier declaración que haga puede usarse como prueba en su contra.
You have the right to have an attorney.
Tiene derecho a un abogado.
You have the right to have an attorney present during any questioning by law enforcement officials or attorneys representing the state.
Tiene derecho de que su abogado esté presente si le interrogaran las autoridades o la fiscalía estatal.
If you agree to be questioned or interrogated, you have the right to terminate questioning at any time.
Si estuviera de acuerdo con que le interroguen, usted puede o tiene derecho de terminar con esa entrevista en el momento que desee.
If you are indigent, that means if you're too poor and cannot afford an attorney, you have the right to request the appointment of an attorney.
Si usted es indigente, es decir, que es pobre y no tiene los recursos para contratar abogado particular, tiene derecho de solicitar que el juzgado le proporcione abogado de oficio.
If you are charged with a felony, you have the right to an examining trial.
Si se le acusara de un delito grave, tiene derecho de solicitar una audiencia indagatoria.
You'll be given a reasonable time and opportunity to talk to your attorney about your case.
Se le proporcionará tiempo y oportunidad razonable para consultar con su abogado con respecto al cargo.
If you are not a citizen, you'll be admitted to bail if allowed by law.
Si no es usted ciudadano, si la ley lo permite, se le fijará una cantidad de fianza en su caso.
If you are not a citizen of the United States and you're convicted of certain types of offenses, it is possible that you could be deported from this country and not allowed re-entry.
Ahora, si no es usted ciudadano estadounidense y le condenaran de ciertos delitos, es posible que lo deporten y que no le permitan que vuelva a ingresar al país.
If you're not a citizen of the United States, you have the right, if you want, to notify your country's embassy or consulate that you're being held in this jail. If you want me to, I will. If you do not want me to, I will not. So if you're not a citizen of the United States and you want me to notify your country's consulate that you're being held in jail, let me know at the time I'm talking directly with you.
Bueno, si no es usted ciudadano estadounidense, tiene derecho, si usted desea, de informar al consulado o embajada de su país de origen que está detenido aquí en la cárcel. Si usted quiere, avisaremos al consulado. Si no, no les avisamos. Pero si no es usted ciudadano y sí quiere que yo informe a su consulado que está aquí detenido, entonces hágame saberlo cuando yo hable con usted directamente.
All right. As far as an appointed attorney goes, at this time, I don't know who's going to get one. But if you remain in jail and you qualify for an appointed attorney, your attorney should be in contact with you within the next day or two.
Ahora, con respecto al abogado de oficio, yo no sé quiénes podrán cualificar para recibirlo, pero si lo consigue y permanece detenido en la cárcel, entonces el abogado se pondrá en contacto con usted dentro de 1 a 2 días.
If you are released from jail and you believe you need an appointed attorney and one has not been in contact with you, you'll have to ask the judge in whose court your case is set to appoint you an attorney. That judge at that time will make a determination as to whether he or she thinks you're entitled to one.
Ahora, si lograra salir de la cárcel, pero aún así está necesitado del abogado de oficio y no se ha puesto en contacto con usted, ese abogado aún, entonces cuando comparezca en el próximo juzgado donde tiene su caso ante ese juez, entonces le puede solicitar a ese juez que le otorgue el abogado de oficio y ese juez determinará si se le puede otorgar.
I will also ask you if you're requesting an appointed attorney because you cannot afford your own. If that is the case, let me know and I'll make a notation on your file, but that does not guarantee you're going to get an appointed attorney.
También yo le voy a preguntar si quiere solicitar que se le asigne abogado porque no tiene recursos para contratar o conseguir abogado particular. Si es así, hágame saberlo, voy a anotar su respuesta aquí en el expediente, solo que eso no garantiza que se le vaya a dar.
All right, finally, when I'm done talking to you and you get back to your sections, you should be able to use the phone to make some phone calls.
Y finalmente, cuando haya terminado de hablar con todos, van a regresar a su área, a su celda y van a después poder realizar llamadas telefónicas.
All right, Quinn Franks. Sir. Put your hand up. You got 2 motions to revoke probation on a DWI third. There's no bail set on either case. So you'll probably be in court in the next 10 days or so, unless your attorney can get a bond set for you. Mr. Franks, did you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Can you afford your own attorney?
Not in court appointment.
Do you have any questions?
Those are the only charges I got.
That's all I'm aware of. Do you have any reason to believe you have anything else?
No.
That's all I've got.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jonathan
Peace out.
Hernandez.
Jonathan,
Yes,
your turn,
sir.
Jonathan.
You're charged with criminal trespass. It is a Class A misdemeanor charge. Your bail is set at $7,500. Plus, as a condition of getting released from jail on bail, you're to stay 200 yards away from Marissa Baez and stay 200 yards away from 14,000 the Lake Boulevard Apartment 1234 in Pflugerville. You also have a criminal mischief charge. That is a Class B misdemeanor charge. Bail on that is set at $7,500 for a total of $15,000. Mr. Hernandez, did you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Can you afford your own attorney?
No, I'm working on it.
Well, do you think you're gonna be able to afford your own or not?
No, sir.
Yeah, I'll put down, listen, I'm gonna put down you're requesting one, but if you're able to afford your own, you'll have to get your own.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. What is the
Okay.
total bond amount?
Total is 15,000.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you can have a seat. Ahmad Hodges,
Sir.
put your hand, okay, you're charged with, leaving the scene of a collision with an injury. That's a state jail felony charge. Bail on that is $2,500. You're also charged with evading arrest, Class A misdemeanor charge. Bail on that is set at $2,500 for a total of $5,000. The marijuana charge was dropped. Did you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Can you afford your own attorney?
Yes, sir.
Is that a no?
No, sir.
Do you have any questions?
Total bond amount?
5,000 total.
Okay. That'll be it.
All right, Rashid, Melton,
Yes.
you got several charges. You got, theft of property, Class A misdemeanor charge. Bail on that is set at $5,000. You got a criminal trespass charge, Class B misdemeanor charge. Bail on that is set at $5,000. You got a criminal mischief charge, Class B misdemeanor charge. Bail on that is set at $5,000. You got a burglary of a building charge. That's a state jail felony. Bail on that is set at $5,000. Your total bail is $20,000. Plus, as a condition of getting released from jail on bail, if you're able to get out, you'll have to have an electronic monitoring system put on your ankle before you get released from jail. Mr. Melton, did you understand your rights?
Yes.
Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
No,
Can you
maybe
afford your own
so.
attorney?
No.
Do you have any questions? Is that a no? All right.
Okay, one more, and then we're calling it a night. It's been 3.5 hours.
Brandon Randall. You're
Brandon
charged with
Randall.
interference with an emergency call. It is a Class A misdemeanor charge. Your bail is set at $5,000. Did you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Can you afford your own attorney? I can't hear you.
No, sir.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
All right.
Just like that's that. This judge is boring though. And I'm done for the evening. You guys, listen, I had a wonderful night with you tonight. I hope that you had a great night too. Please make sure that you've gone ahead and click the like button for this video. Super helpful, free way for you to help me out. Also, make sure that you're subscribed. Tomorrow holds new things. I don't know what they are yet, but there'll be new things. Anyways, oh, thank you, Courtney. Remember that I love you. I am proud of you. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, I did that backwards. Bye. Also, I wanted to let you guys know there's been a development with Larry Beaver. He may be sending a replacement. Alligator.